Last we left our heroes, you awoke from a night of inciting rebellion and arson to a day where the future of Sigil will forever be changed. With your story of rebellion and message to the populace to stand tall against the coin being dispersed by the Cager, it comes to you to figure out how best to begin. In the mid-morning hours of this day of reckoning, you began to piece together the threads and bits of information you gathered to see this bigger picture of what's happening here. You came here seeking a powerful name. You found it to be kept in the general's possession in a book. This book said to be one of the 3 books of keeping, containing the true names of every Yugoloth ever birthed, including the general and the devil himself. It was this connection that Valentine drew to gather that the cryptic advice the lady had given you and your quest here began to intertwine. To make the general killable, his connection to this book must be severed. The book must be destroyed, but not before you're able to withdraw the name of Asmodeus from it. The book is the key the heart kept safe. With that, you divided up your items and potions and collected yourselves, needing to get to the Hive Ward and reconvene with the Smiths to truly finalize the plan of attack. You left Valentine behind in second chances and slipped into the city and towards the ruined church the Smiths had been using as a base of operations. Here you found they confirmed the Crimson Coin to be on edge and have called home their forces. The Garrison House compound, now teeming with their mercenaries, and in the early hours of this morning, the general himself gave an address to his forces. In this address, he made it clear their time for action was now to control the city, that it was to be theirs, and they would be doing so with the aid of their allies in the Mercy Killers, and presented a trio of red armored justiciars with their newest weapon. From the ground, this massive mechanical behemoth arose, arcuate plated, brimming with strange magical energy, and encased within a raging spectral draconic force. To the sounds of the cheers, the general declared war against the lady and in Sigil. In the catacombs beneath this church, the 5 of you and the pair of resistance fighters before you stared down a beast of challenge. Knowing the book is the target and needing a clever way in, the idea of using Gord's powerful transmutative powers to bring a stone-chewing behemoth to your side opened up the possibility of attacking the compound from beneath. With the element of surprise, the destructive capabilities of a purple worm and the tunnel left in its wake would provide access to you and the resistance fighters, and thus a real plan began to form. With the hopes that the anarchists are successful in drawing enough forces from the compound to their burning targets, you have but a handful of hours that are dwindling away towards nightfall. But with them, we begin today with what you would like to do next.
So I think right at the end of the last session too, we sent someone out with the Wayfinder Sphere to try to get an idea.
Mm-hmm. So none of the Smiths, or the 3 kind of leaders of the Smiths have gone, but they've sent some of their ilk, their crew. 2 of them have gone around to basically try to triangulate where the signal to Kellic is going, and you put the ring inside, started activating, or I guess they would activate it when it got closer to the compound. But that's going to take them a little bit of doing it. It could be an hour to try and do this stealthily. So at this point, I don't remember exactly where we said it was timing in the day, but it was getting late into the mid-afternoon. So I want to say between 3 and 4 hours left to finalize what you guys want to do. Do any final preparations, spells, scouting, fucking, I don't know, whatever you want to try and do. You've got a couple hours before nightfall, and then waiting for the signal, and then whatever.
It's almost showtime. Recapping what you masterfully just said for the wild cards, the plan is purple worm towards the bank, the vault underneath this like compound. Hondo, you basically drop us off, and then we start trying to infiltrate the vault, the bank, where the dungeon would be for Kellic. You, though, pivot off, and then you just fucking try and cause as much chaos with the compound as you can. And then you circle around and try and get back to us, relinking with that tunnel, whatever you need to do. Again, if you get hurt too bad, you might break, whatever. If Gord gets hurt, you might break. So it'll be real fun for you.
I think part of it too is even if he only really has to get there, because then he can, even as Hondo, run back through the tunnels to get back to us. But the idea of like trying to get underneath the corner of the barracks building so that potentially with explosives or just by eating some, supports, could have that building come down, because then that's going to both take some people out, cause a huge fucking distraction. They're not going to be able to get in to get all their weapons if they need refills or anything. Like, taking that shit out could be helpful. And that's where, your little handful of explosives, Hondo, are going to do way fucking better if you can get them on like an underground support beam.
Yes.
But if you were to use the worm, I think a really good symbol would be like the wall too. If you've targeted the barracks and the wall, that'd be a great symbol for the city to see like, oh shit, these guys are taking down the wall.
It also helps us escape later.
It also could help us escape later, if we even escape. There's nothing.
And then there's also a giant mech dragon that we have to.
And then there's like a giant mech dragon. And if you want to start some cool like anime poster that we could frame where like you're coiled around it as it's trying to fight you, that could be pretty sick.
In terms of, okay, we got to reassess our stuff now, because at one point we were separating things, but now Hondo's going to be alone. So we need to make sure that if anything happens to him. So let's
he doesn't
look
have
at
anything good on him. It's true.
No, like that he has more potions because he could get into shit by himself. How are you looking, Hondo, for like, what do you have in terms of health potions? I don't remember. I know we went through this all last game.
I think I have at least 2. At least.
I wrote them all down. Hondo has 2 superior potions and 2 regular potions.
That's actually pretty good.
Hondo has 4 sticks of dynamite. Hondo has a Speak with Dead scroll, a scroll of invisibility. He has the Afridi bottle. You're looking for a time. Hondo has a Psychonic Advantage potion, and Brawley has a Psychonic Advantage potion.
Kev, I'm gonna give you my gem that has a dimension door in it as a just in case. It can get you 500 feet, and we know
That's
like
pretty good.
Teleportation's kind of fucky here,
Okay.
but in case it's like a get out of jail or come towards where we are or something.
You guys have had enough experience with teleportation here to know that lower level dimension door is right on the cusp of pushing those boundaries, and there is a skill check involved to activate the spell. Like, so if the skill check fails, the spell is used and fails. But if it succeeds in it, it works as normal. But there is a barrier to try and push back against teleportation. Still doable though.
Hondo also has an electric battery that he really wanted to combine at some point with his wall of water.
Oh, that's right. That would be fucking cool to make it electric.
Pokemon-esque. And then Hondo also has a 1 beat of force, which explodes and can like encapsulate someone. Not a big area, but can encapsulate someone.
That's right. And
it can also be used in conjunction with like maybe plugging a tunnel hole. The purple one's really big though, but it could be used as like a barricade.
Actually, yeah, there's a question. How big is a purple worm tunnel?
Well,
10 feet in diameter.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, you're totally right.
So the purple worm itself is slightly larger than 10 feet, roughly. But actually, close to. It's going to be a little approximate to what you guys have seen and battled in your time, and how accurate Gord can represent that by transforming Hondo's body into it. But they are anywhere from 60 to 80 feet in length. However, to pull all the 60, 80 foot out of the ground itself is a challenge. So typically there's like an element in the ground, an element above. But they are anywhere from 10 to 15 feet in diameter.
They have blind sight 30 feet and tremor sense 60 feet, which is handy for you.
So you'll be able to tell if you're coming up on a building or something.
You will not be able to, and Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, what will his intelligence be like while he's this?
Intelligence of 1.
Oof.
Hondo will not be able to really tell friend from foe here as a purple worm. And realistically, there's an element of trying to remember the plan as a purple worm. For the first little while, it's going to go okay, because it's like that memory, but over a period of time, that memory will begin to fade as whatever happens here. Think of this. What would a wild animal do? Once we get to a certain threshold, this purple worm becomes a wild animal loose on this compound. As long as the focus is directed, he may well just continue causing destruction, which is kind of the plan.
just so we know, loud noises, we kind of know this from our adventures on what's it called? Tenebrious. Loud noises attract purple worms. So we'll find out. He is a monster alley, so I don't know if speak with animals would work with him.
Okay,
Pond
fair
is a
enough.
monster. The worm is. I don't know what the worm is, but
Technically a
It's a good
monstrosity
thought,
and not a
though.
beast.
It is a good thought.
I
mean, eventually, if a purple worm, if it's, if things are ganging up on it, its thought is going to be, well, I'm going to get the fuck out of here.
I'll give Gord, throw me an Arcana check for a second, please. Just in this
you have
line
the
of
most experience with
conversation. I also want to point out one thing. So tremor sense, you can sense through the ground within 60 feet, any vibrations, any sounds, any movements. Blind sight also, you don't need to see necessarily within 30 feet of you to identify things. The tunneler feature of a purple worm, you have a burrowing speed of 30 feet. However, through solid rock, half as much. Normally, you can't burrow through solid rock. So you will be at that speed through the majority of this because it is solid rock. So the purple worm's not going to be moving quite as fast, but using an action, you can dash. So you can get to 30 feet burrowing as your main action.
Yeah.
Gore with a 21 Arcana. As you guys are having this conversation of like, okay, how can we converse with Hondo as a purple worm? There's an element of all of Hondo's equipment and things go into the body of the purple worm. Provided he still has an earring, there's a chance it would still work. But would he understand the command? You're not sure. But there is an element of like, you could still try that to try and get into him, and you think that it'll translate, it'll go. But how he responds, you're just not sure.
Oh boy. Anything else you kids want to prep?
There's no other spells that have like long casting times or anything else that we need to save. I have very little.
Yeah, Boone's pretty set. He's got his arm cannon ready to rock. He's got his wand of protection now. He's got regrets.
If there's nothing you guys wish to prepare, or at least we can extend this conversation, we can jump ahead to the time where these figures return.
Yeah, let's do that.
And as you guys are conversing and just kind of finalizing the last little ideas and really just kind of counting down the hours and minutes here, the group returns and they deliver the information to Red, and Red kind of comes back and relays to you, though you're in earshot, as not being secretive. It's just like seems to be the command structure here. Red comes over to you guys and says, returns the Wayfinder sphere, just kind of holds it openly to whoever wants to grab it, and says, so it looks like they did a pretty solid perimeter, and every way they looked, it was pointing towards the garrison house itself. It seems like it was pointing down, so likely underground. It seemed to be pretty localized to the back right corner of the house itself. So some kind of underground something. That's where it's pointing to.
Back right.
How far are we from that spot, from the back right corner, to where we are now? Because we're underground in catacombs right now, right?
That's a good question.
You're underground in catacombs, but you're like down a city block.
Oh,
Okay. That's not
So we
bad.
have to go find a spot to start from,
Yeah,
because we're not going to start from here.
we don't want to do
We
it
can't-
in their secret base.
Yeah, we also don't want to give away that something's happening
Yeah,
before it
what's
needs
coming.
to. Because it's 30 feet every 6 seconds, so we'd have to do some math to figure out how many minutes it's going to take.
We could try and go into like another building. Maybe that's something we could do now. Scout another building that has like a cellar, a subfloor that we could transform Hondo into, and he could start in it.
Make an intelligence check.
We don't want it to be Boone. Don't want it to be Boone. Come on, maybe. Not bad. It hung on the 3, but we got a 16.
Okay. Magic is not your forte. However, as you're just kind of thinking about this concept, it's not so much the magic that you're like, wait a second. How big's that purple worm?
That's what I'm worried about.
How big's this space we're trying to transform him
It's gonna
into?
be fucking huge.
If he doesn't have enough space to fit, he either takes a significant amount of force damage by being constricted, or it doesn't work.
So I have to do it outside. I'll have to do it like outside. We'll have to have him like lie on the ground, because he's, like standing up. We need him to be like this, not like this.
How big is it again?
The
Pull it
worm?
up. It's right here.
Like,
I want to say 60 to 80 feet in length and 10 feet wide, so
He's a
pretty-
gargantuan monstrosity.
pretty fucking big.
He's pretty fucking big.
Kind of
So-
one of the bigger things you could be.
so, but he could get underground. His whole body could get underground in 2 turns.
Oh my god, they're 80 feet in length. This one says 5 feet in diameter and weighs 40,000 pounds.
Okay, then say 5 to 10 feet in diameter, because the hole it's leaving behind is 10 feet in diameter.
That
Yeah,
doesn't make any fucking sense.
So it's got to at least be, so 5 to 10 feet in diameter is still fucking huge.
that's from the Pathfinder wiki, so I hope you haven't led us astray, Pathfinder wiki. Oh no, Forgotten Realms does the same thing. Okay, cool.
So we have to find a street that's close but out of sight, where hopefully no one's going to spot us, where we can get Hondo in 6 seconds underground, or 12 seconds. It's going to take 12 seconds for him to get underground.
I really wanted, as Boone, I really wanted to ride atop him like he was some sort of stallion. But now I'm recognizing that's probably not a good idea.
You'd probably get your face scraped off on the ceiling.
Yeah. But the vision of it, maybe some point after this, if we survive, I could do that.
Sure.
Mary, just in recollection of the area, the city here, this kind of region of the Hive Ward, when you guys were fleeing from them, when Hondo first made his first kind of break-in, so to speak, and then was breaking out, you know that there's the compound itself, and then there's a significant space around the compound where it's like kind of a massive open double wide city street that is completely barren. But then there are other buildings and side streets, and a kind of a city square began to kind of form not far from the Garrison House main gate. But all around are residential and businesses that are abandoned now. So there's a lot of space here where you could easily hide, transform, and go. It's more direction that you want to come from. It's less of a concern of can we find it, it's which way do you want to go.
I think if we can try to find a spot that's close to that back corner that they were talking about, because that's where he's going to have to drop us off anyway.
That's not a problem. Like, you haven't scouted it yourself necessarily, so you can still do that to scout and find what you want to get more, get a better eye on. But it's kind of where you guys have been like running through the side streets and then getting to this point. It's more of that, just around the rest of the city. So there's easy enough to find a space. You'll still have to stealthily get there to avoid detection. But again, you have a couple of hours. This is a 10-15 minute walk. So this is not so much of a problem. It's more of a choice than it is a challenge.
I mean, yeah, we could scout that out ahead of time. Timing is also a thing, right? So are we waiting until we see some kind of sign of potentially forces leaving, or, if there's suddenly a bustle of activity because they heard that one of the other places got taken out? They have those real big ass spyglass looking things, right, Kyle, on the window or on the wall? I vaguely remember they had something to like look through.
On the gate region, there was a kind of spyglass. So facing towards that kind of city square, but not every. So there are kind of guard towers at points around the outer wall that you did not notice, but you definitely noticed that there were sniper positions and guards up in high towers who were presumably watching and scanning. And then on the gate itself, there was kind of like an arching double wide kind of guard tower that has ramparts and what looked to be some viewing platform.
I see.
Okay.
I see we have a big meal. We scout out one of these spots, and then I say we start going before the sun hits, like or before that night switch happens.
But so keep in mind though, all the distractions elsewhere are going off once things flip. So so people are going to be able to feel why the fuck is the ground shaking, right? So we don't want to set them off too early. We want them to let the other distractions play out slightly before we start fucking with this area. Because if we start fucking with this area, they're going to be like, what? Other distraction? Who gives a shit? What's going on here?
Yeah.
So we
want to time it like... Maybe we do our thing as soon as that distraction goes off. Like we transform Hondo, because there's being a lot of noise going on. We could transform Hondo and hopefully get underground before they start patrolling around, making sure shit's on lock.
Well, that's what I mean. We got to make sure that somehow keep an eye out. Someone's in the top of whatever building we're hiding in or around, watching there with my shitty ass busted spyglass.
It's gonna be you.
Probably, to make sure that, oh shit, like they must have got word that those distractions are happening. See if anyone leaves. Let them leave if they are, and then get fucking going.
Red actually kind of is also in the room with you. Just says, I mean, any chance we can get to thin the herd, so to speak. I thought that's if these distractions go off and they send even a quarter of their forces, that's 30, 40 people we don't have to try and fight.
Right, for your forces. I'd like to ask of you at least one person to help get this Kellic fellow who we're hoping to get out safe.
Sure.
Outside of that, helping to pick people off from a distance, the chaos that's going to be created with, a giant-ass purple worm is potentially going to draw enough of their attention that maybe your forces can help outside of there.
Well, my thinking, obviously, correct me if I'm wrong, if we go in through this tunnel that takes us under the garrison house, and you're planning to go below to whatever vault or whatever lies below, my thinking was we go up. We take my group here and we just go up and either try and hold the garrison house proper or use the distraction to try and pick out as many as we can and almost defend the garrison house from inside the garrison house. The, I guess, bigger issue I've been kind of battling with is this is the only place we've seen the general hole up, and either he's here or he's down in whatever bunker that machine came from, that Snow saw. So essentially, if we were able to hold up top, that buys you all time to do what you got to do. General's going to get through us. Mm-hmm. It's a guarantee. But we can buy you time and hopefully take out any of them alongside us. Now, if you wanted to come up and try and do the same, maybe he's not here. Maybe we can give you a signal if he's not here. Maybe, I don't know. But we're going to try and focus on keeping attention on the purple worm, and anyone who does come knocking, we put him down.
Our second question is, we don't know exactly, for us wildcards, where the book is. Exactly. We don't know. So that's something where we'll have to take that sphere back with us. And I don't even know if that's going to work. That is a locate object, right?
The heart kept safe. Yeah, it's got to be in that place somewhere, whether it's in the top where he always
well, it's neath the Miser Drake's Rest, right? That's what it said. But we don't entirely know where that is.
We'll just have to figure it out when we get in there. What we should do is tell them. Do we tell them about it in case they need to kill this general if we die?
I don't know, but
I guess we don't really. We have to have Gord memorize the name before we kill it.
Yeah, that's a whole separate conversation.
I say we get this party started. Let's fucking go. Let's get ready.
there's nothing else we need to prep. Anything else anyone needs to... We lost Mr. Kevin Karanja.
Yeah, Kev's
He's just a
taking
worm.
He's just turned into a worm early.
He's literally planking on the ground now, ready for it. I say we take, obviously, the Wayfarer Sphere back, Wayfinder Sphere.
Mm-hmm.
I can hold on to that until maybe Cord needs it. But I can put a spell slot into it if we need it. And we get ready. Mary, you could take a looky above.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
try to see if I can find a spot. And
Are you going to try and stay here and like go up to the top of the tower of this church to try and see across, or are you guys going to try and scout out on the ground and see what you can find?
I am not stealthy, so it's whatever you want to do, Mary.
well, it's more of a question of where are we going to hold up? Are we going to hold up here for the next few hours and try to watch things? Or are we going to hold up in the spot we're going to end up doing all this?
I think we should go to the spot.
I agree.
Okay. So question is, are you going to travel on foot, or are you going to try and spy something from a distance and then make your way there? Regardless, you're going to have to travel on foot, I suppose.
Mary, do you
Yeah,
want to do
well-
a lookout first and let us know if it's clear?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Because Boone still has Val's earring, doesn't he?
No, Mordekainen has Val's earring.
That's right. Okay, Boone does not have an earring.
Boone does not have an earring. The rest of you do. Valentin does not. And then Scott has nothing. Period.
Hey, I got nothing.
Okay, Mary, go ahead and make a perception check. See what you can spy from up on top.
Climbs out.
That is a 25.
Okay. Getting to the apex of the church tower here gets you just above the majority of the buildings here, which otherwise would have been troubling. And were you not such an athletic figure, this would have been a challenge. But with who you are, this is second nature to you, to get on top of things and to look. And seeing across, as described, the kind of city square, the town square sort of area, this open barrier of open road around the wall. You can see the wall is very active. Wall of the garrison house. You can see double what was there yesterday or the day before when you guys were last here. It's being occupied. It's being watched. The surrounding area is. But as I kind of described, this kind of region of like buildings and structures and tight alleyways, some in disrepair for sure, kind of wraps around all the way around the garrison house, about anywhere from 30 to 60 feet away from the wall itself, and probably even a little further, honestly. But there's plenty of good spaces for you to hole up. And from your experience in this area and from what the Smiths have said, nothing around here seems to be occupied. It seems to have been, everything has been pushed out, and creatures. So you could find a solid, a big enough space to try and hole up for the next couple hours. Nothing that looks big enough that will contain the worm. None of the structures here look big enough for that. So it seems like you'll either have to do it in an alley, on the main road and go in, or some other method of your choosing. But it seems like there won't be a space to start from, just the size of the buildings.
Okay. None of us have like illusion magic to try to hide a giant worm.
Not that good, no. I say we do it in an alley.
Yeah.
Ando's
just
done a
for-
lot of stuff in an alley.
Yeah, let's at least get moving and post up and try to find a spot where we can get a decent view as well of what's happening in the garrison house, so that we can see if forces start moving out.
Okay. Let's get... actually, I suppose that means the Smiths are going with you, obviously, because they need to go alongside whatever it is you're doing.
Happy to like help them, like let them guide us, and like they know this little area better than anyone else.
Sure. It takes about 10-15 minutes for Red kind of departs your group and says, he's going to go and spread the word, gather everyone in. Most people had already kind of been brought in knowing shit was going to go down today. And with their lead, I'd like everyone to go ahead and roll stealth with advantage.
Be very helpful. Or I've cursed myself.
Scott, you have disadvantage for heavy armor?
I don't think I do because I took an expensive one.
Oh, okay. So
but my first roll was a 17. Ooh, and my second roll was a 20. Let me just confirm that though. Yeah, I don't have any like X through it or anything.
As long as you don't have disadvantage beside you, it would have just been a straight roll, but your first one was still pretty good. 26 for Gord. 20 for...
Yeah, my mithril plate gives me...
No disadvantage?
No disadvantage, yeah.
Cool. Allie, is Kev gone? Have we confirmed Kevin is departed for the afterlife?
Died. I will... Do you want to just roll for him?
I mean, it doesn't matter. His minimum is crazy high. He's your rogue with reliable talent. He'll be fine. The rest of you?
23.
Okay.
Good rolls, team.
25.
Mary, 25. Kevin would have a minimum 27, so he's okay.
But you know what? Roll and see if he gets a 1. Let's just see.
He has advantage, so he would need 2 1s.
What if he gets 2 snake eyes?
Let's find out. They weren't great, but it's still 27.
All right. You're lucky this time.
So, with the Smith's lead, taking a very slow journey through these back alleys, taking a large, wide arc, takes about half hour of taking specific care with like 20 people. Like there's 15 of their group, and then the 5 of you. No mounts, which makes it a little easier. But to slip through alleys and slip through abandoned buildings and kind of slowly guard your way close. Half hour later, you find yourselves in kind of like a warehousey style building that in theory could be big enough for a purple worm with potential risk of bringing the building down. But that's a choice you can make later, as it's relatively large and comfortable enough for all of you to hole up in. And it's within eye shot from the roof of the wall, from this kind of it's kind of right at the corner of the back right corner of the wall. The garrison house itself is 100 or 200 feet to the left or right, depending on how you want to look at it, from this edge. But this is a good hole up spot and a pretty easy shot to kind of get to the house itself. With the burrowing speed of the worm, it's going to take a couple of rounds to get under the ground and through there. You guys have had experience with these kind of burrowing creatures as well. There's definitely a sort of warning of like the sound, the tremors of earth being shifted and stone breaking. But it's not until it's relatively close or that you can see it that there's a big kind of giveaway. From a distance, if other things have caught their attention, there's a chance that you could get through the first couple of rounds without anybody even picking out what's going on. And realistically, you're not going to be seen. So it's going to be underground. So it should be okay. But we'll see. So last check to see if there's anything you guys want to do as the hour dwindles past, and the next hour will pass before the night takes the city. And there's nothing else?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. It's good with me. In perfect timing, Master Karanja returns.
Ready for his worm debut.
The night fade, or the light begins to fade from the sky in this kind of only a matter.
I'm here. I'm just for a few minutes. I'm staying off camera.
Okay.
Yeah, all good.
We watch as the sky above begins to dim and then fades to black, and has that faint moonlight in the sky, that sudden light switch effect that has happened in the city many times since you've been here. There's a sudden kind of adrenaline surge and anxiety and this weird deep breath that you're holding as night takes the sky, and you all just prepare. All of the smiths kind of preparing weapons at the ready and just kind of waiting, and that kind of bated breath and an adrenaline surge across the room as you all wait and listen. A minute passes. 2 minutes pass. And I'd like everyone to make a perception check.
Oh boy, oh boy. 9.
Okay.
15.
22.
I think Gord said he was away as well, so
Yeah, he just beer.
that's okay.
What check is this again?
Perception.
I got total. So roll the 16, total 30.
Oof, attaboy.
Yeah. There's even like Boone with that lowest roll there. Even you are able to kind of like hear. It just sounds like a sudden buzz of activity, like what you can hear from a busy city center at a distance. You just know there's a buzz of something, but it starts to pick up kind of out of nowhere, and you even catch that. However, the rest of you catch it a few seconds before him, and before that buzz of a city center sound, it sounds like fireworks echoing across the city. And as you guys just kind of look out some of these shattered windows and open spaces and cracks in the roofs of this warehouse-style building and get up and around to kind of look in the darkness, you can see an array of exploding lights in the sky on one side, kind of in the direction of where you'd first come into the hive. And it's just... And there's a crackle of flame at the kind of ground level, and smoke, this large trail of smoke lighting off, but these explosions of fireworks igniting the sky. Right after that, as you guys have begun to look to the left, on the way towards the clerk's ward, not quite at the break, but relatively close, but still at this height in this distance, a secondary, and you feel this one, and it shakes the ground a little, followed by a multiple large, like, shaking explosions. You can feel this kind of shift each time. There's very faint tremor in the ground from the distance you're at, but that one was big. That one did some damage, and then fireworks on the other side as well. It seems the anarchists have done their part. Over the next minute, as you guys listen and hear and watch now, kind of watching the spectacle on two sides of this ward of this massive porous city, the fireworks continue, just explosive and beautiful, and fun, if it weren't a portent of death and destruction. That city buzzing sound from the garrison house grows to a cacophony, and at this distance you can hear the as the portcullis of the gate rises, and a marching sound, a loud marching sound, many figures arming up, shouts. You can't make out anything distinct at this distance, but shouts in languages you don't gather, and guttural. Immediately, Hondo, Gord, and Mary, at kind of different positions where you're watching, you can see figures flying up out of the garrison house compound. Too far away to make out anything in the darkness of the night, but there are figures are flying in the directions as fast as they can of the like kind of splitting kind of the focus left and right, as almost like triangulating to the garrison house from here. But they take off, and you have no visual because you literally put yourselves on the opposite side of the garrison house to the gate, so you don't know numbers. You don't know how many of the rank and file are kind of in this what sounds like march out, but certainly some are going, someone's going, and it sounds like a good number, though it's difficult to tell.
That's really good.
How long do you wait?
Not
This is
super
within the
long, I
first
imagine.
2-3 minutes of signal explosion, fireworks, and it kind of went a 1, 2, and now they're going in the first couple of minutes. We'll say 3 to 5 minutes now have passed before they've begun to kind of move out of the compound.
Question is now, where are we doing this? Inside or outside?
In the alley.
Gotta set up
outside.
somewhere to blow up.
Don't worry, you're gonna worm this shit. I say we get him outside in the alley, have him lie down, and then Gord does his thing on him.
Okay. You guys begin to step outside and still seeing this commotion, and like the lights aren't quite getting to you at this distance, but the kind of interesting level of the city where it kind of curves up and around from outside, you can kind of see both as they're just kind of rising up and over the donut shaped city, and you can just kind of see them from outside. It's an interesting kind of display. Hondo, you lay down on the ground.
Yep.
And Gord, you cast True Polymorph.
I think you said yeah, but they've muted it. I watched you come on mute and come on.
Okay.
Yeah, I said yes.
Okay.
I said it in a very creepy way.
Fair enough. What's the? I mean, it doesn't matter, but the range. Gord, you tap into this
30 feet.
30 feet. So 30 feet away, you stand, knowing this creature that Hondo's about to turn into is bigger than that. And all of you are kind of standing back with bated breath, unsure how this is going to go. Gord, as you unleash a 9th level spell, one of the most powerful spells in the game, what does Hondo turn into, and what does he look like in your version of this purple worm?
Just picturing the worm from Dune, but purple.
Okay.
That's legit.
More or less just like that. You can see as he does transform, Hondo's form elongates and grows, and you almost immediately lose sight of the Triton that you've come to love and just see this massive worm, a mouth of 100 teeth, 200 teeth, just begins to kind of spin up and grow out of his face. This purple, somewhat blue purple sheen. And you can just faintly see these kind of like scales of like Hondo's like physical form begin to kind of grow into this worm as it just pushes against the sides of the wooden structures. And already you can see the warehouse you're in, whatever was left of the windows shatters inwards and just he fills this alley fully and pushes all of you kind of out of the way, and you have to jump inside and jump out of the way as elongates to 60, 70, 80 feet down multiple lengths of buildings. Hondo is officially a purple worm. Gord is officially concentrating on said purple worm. Kev?
Yeah.
I need you to make just roll a d20 for me.
Okay. Roll is 9.
Okay. I'm looking up one little thing. Okay. So the stats are in the chat here. if you need the stats, which you will. But just for everyone's awareness, Purple Worm AC 18, 247 hit points, 50-foot speed on just slithering, 30-foot burrowing speed, but 15 through solid stone. And the ground here is solid stone. So any through the walls or through the ground is going to cost half movement. You can take any normal actions like dashing, disengaging, any kind of that kind of shit. However, your intelligence is 1. With a 9, minus 5, taking it to a 4, you just start going straight. And you guys watch as on the ground, this 50-foot worm just breaking, shattering buildings as it's slithering and winding its way towards, and then into the face of the wall and just bites in and breaks through the back wall, leaving a 10-foot gap. Well, there will be a 10-foot gap once he works his way through it. What are you guys doing?
Someone use your dumb earring and like try and tell him to go underground.
I'll just go in the earring and just try to use like the most basic words, like down.
Okay.
And see what happens.
Okay. Kev, go ahead and roll another d20 with advantage for me.
Okay.
Where's a bard when we need it?
The bard is a purple worm.
The 2 other
14
bards
first
are-
roll.
What'd you get?
14 and 19.
Okay, great.
Well, we'll take that 19. Hearing the voice as you're able to kind of like take those last kind of seconds of remembering the plan and remembering who you are beyond the worm, there's just something of like, as soon as you transformed, this deep well of hunger began to grow inside of you. A hunger that, you know, you've been hungry before. You've been on long trips on the sea where food was rationed and maybe there was days where you went without. This is that to the nth degree. You could eat this entire city and still not be sated. And you have that and you hear down and through the back wall and then descending. You guys will watch this kicking up of smoke and dirt and rock as the worm just descends, leaving a 10-foot gap in the wall, but now a tunnel descending in the direction of the garrison house.
Okay, still good.
Yeah, okay, let's hope this
Boone
fucking
starts
works.
running after it. Just
Yep.
running.
Okay.
Come
you
on.
guys all begin to
Keep Gord
sprint.
safe.
Yeah, I'll follow.
All begin to sprint with the smiths, the 3 leaders, Red, Snow, and Silver, kind of alongside you, and the dozen or so additional smiths at your back.
Can
and
we
you
do
get,
like triangle, like Boone, Mary, Raleigh, Gord in the middle, like just trying to keep him in the middle?
Absolutely. You won't be able to once you get into the tunnel because it's only 10 feet wide.
True.
So, Gord in the back is what we will assume for everything going forward. I assume Gord
Well, I
will
would
be
say
middle or back.
Allie,
Yeah, I'll stay near Gord.
Okay, so Allie, Gord, pair.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything that happens, I will recall that. As you all just begin sprinting through the city, across through the back alley here, across this open expanse.
Fuck.
With Gord and Mary's passive perceptions, where the Hondo turned into a worm and broke through the wall, you just see on the wall above, there's a single guard tower to the left, kind of right at the corner, and the wall broke near this corner. You can see the buildings kind of just shifted ever so slightly. With the break in that wall, it's only a 15-foot high wall. So most of the wall has been destroyed in this 10-foot by 10-foot kind of section. And part of the tower is kind of just shifted ever so slightly. And you can see 3 guys on top kind of shifting to look down and seeing the worm and are like hastening to try and grab their weaponry, but things are spilling. They're freaking out. Along the other wall that kind of goes along the back of the compound itself, you just see like 3 or 4 guys running in this direction. They don't seem to have spotted you all with the massive distraction of Purple Worm. Even though you're running in the open, everyone's eyes are inside as this worm is descending into the ground. So you're seeing like maybe 10, 15 feet into the actual compound itself, the worm's body is slowly still descending and it's taking like 2 or 3 rounds to like work its way below ground. That your approach is hidden by an awestruck group. They do, however, get 2 shots off, just like 2 random shots get fired at the worm. As they're just running and just kind of trying to like
beautiful worm.
Monstrous thing is coming in. What the fuck? Let's
AC
see.
18.
I need my mercenaries. Let's see. It's a 20 and a 16. So 1 hit to the worm, Kev. Is going to be... Does the worm have any resistances? I don't think so.
Just looking.
Should be under in the kind of saving throws, senses, that kind of section. I thought they might have resistance to poison because it does have like a poison feature. Because it's going to be important here.
Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing and now it's...
That's okay.
I got it up. It doesn't have any...
Okay, perfect. It saves us all time. So, Purple Worm takes 14 points of piercing damage and an additional 5 points of poison damage, for a total of 19, as the one shot manages just to hit into the massive frame. Not even that it's hard to hit, but that the exterior of it is so thick and tough. And there's an element of like Hondo's kind of scales now across this worm that aids in the other shot kind of pinging off into the distance. But he descends. As the rest of you reach the break in the wall, this 10-foot section, what are you guys doing?
As soon as Boone gets close to it, he'll like touch regrets and like whip it out, and the mask will just like fragment on, and then he'll just be like, embrace the darkness, jump into it, and then he'll cast darkness around like the rim of that hole that he went down and just like leap in behind this worm.
Awesome. Everyone just following suit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys all, and the Smiths just follow your lead. There's no argument, no moment for discussion here, as Purple Worm just broke through the wall. Go, 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 go. You all descend into darkness, and you slide down this kind of angled descent, and you can just hear as this worm is chewing through solid stone. You guys have actually caught up to the worm quickly. Once he's descended now fully into the ground, and the chewing through stone, the passage is slow. And so suddenly, through the darkness, you guys are all caught up to the back of Hondo's Purple Worm form as he just works his way through on this beeline. You can kind of tell from where you were in the angle above, though the darkness kind of hindered some of it. You're going to catch kind of middle of the road through the garrison. Now it's like beneath it. You're going to go right kind of straight. If this was to continue through, you're about 10, 15 feet down, straight through on a slight diagonal through the garrison house proper, almost in actually a good line to the barracks if you were to continue straight through.
So are we missing our corner that we were aiming for?
You're not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, how do we fucking know?
We have no real way of knowing that.
Okay. Quick question: how long does the locate creature spell last?
10
Who has that up?
I can pull it up. I can grab it.
Someone cast it now, so that we know where we can tell from down here where Kellic is in relation to us.
To do so through the Wayfinder Sphere, you'll have to cast a 4th level spell into it again, because you've already used the free one a day to do it the first time.
Oh, it's a 4th level spell.
Locate object is a 2, creature is 4.
I only have 1.
Okay.
We could do locate object on the Bookie book.
We don't. How familiar are we with it, though? That might not work.
Familiar with
Saw
the
it in a
book?
dream.
You've seen enough and have enough like kind of, I don't know, connection to it with like it being the source of this. You've seen it a number of times in kind of visions and things like that. I'd give you a chance to try it. Absolutely.
Let's do that, because we can still do that one for free, can't we?
Yeah, you get a free one of each, and then to do them again costs an additional spell slot.
So I'll take that thing out and try and cast it on the book.
Okay. Concentrating on the Book of Keeping, you activate it, and the Wayfinder's Sphere kind of lights up and just kind of glows. No thanks.
It must be like masked or shielded or something.
Yep. Okay. As of right now,
I want to say technically it's still on. It's not like and it's gone. It's still on, but it didn't find purchase. So for the next, I don't know, 10 minutes or an hour, I'm not sure how long the spell lasts.
what's the distance on that, Scott?
It should be 1,000 feet at least.
Item.
Okay.
Look it up.
So it's shielded behind something.
It lasts 10 minutes and within 1,000 feet.
Yeah. So you are confident that you're within 1,000 feet of the garrison house, but you're not sure exactly, what lies beneath in terms of this vault, in terms of whatever lies beneath, and of course, there's other ways to shroud divination.
Yep.
So there are many ways that it could be shrouded.
I'd probably hide like the super rarest book in the entire world that has like the secrets of immortality.
Be a smart move.
Yeah.
You've got 10 minutes with it up at least. So in the next 10 minutes, should something change, I'll let you know. However, Hondo just kind of continues forward at this point, unless Hondo decides to kind of change his mind. Realistically, in the worm's form, it would just eat and eat and eat and go forward until it hits a point of resistance. And currently, actually no, this is what I'll do for Hondo, unless he is moving. 2 minutes changing.
He's just moving, but we can roll a d20 if we need.
No, it's okay. Tremor sense of 60 feet gives him a kind of echolocation through stone and through rock. He didn't descend 60 feet down the ground. It's about 15 down. So as he approaches, this purple worm version of Hondo sees and hears and senses several hundreds of feet all around within 60 feet. There are just tons of footprints and sounds, and all this cacophony just drives him forward. And I do need, just throw me a d20, somebody, for Kevin if he's not available.
I got it. Here we go. Come on, d20. Ooh, 14 straight.
Okay. With even with the negatives to the worm's intelligence and the worm's kind of wherewithal, he still recalls the friends behind, and you see the tail stinger on the back waving dangerously close to all of you. Just for a moment, kind of think to jab out before just the worm continues, and you hear this, and there's sudden an echo ahead as the worm continues forward. Let's say 30 feet is an action. 4 rounds pass as you guys charge forward from beginning to this point. From behind, you hear one of the smiths kind of shout in pain as a shot rings out. It seems you can see descending down into the hole through the darkness. 2 mercenaries are kind of standing up with guns drawn and fire back at one of the smiths, and 3 of them of the other kind of additional smiths break off to kind of hold the line. Red kind of shouts back to you all and says, "We'll hold the line here. Silver, you're in charge." And he just kind of runs back to help the others back towards this hole entry. So I just kind of charging forward alongside of you. At this point, the worm has broken through a section, and you can see light spilling in beyond where the purple worm is kind of Hondo is working his way through stone. And there's a section about 3 feet wide, jagged of rock that is kind of falling in, and you can see faint firelight kind of filtering in.
Boone, give me a boost.
Okay.
Holding Mary up. Mary, kind of look inside with no perception check required. You can see the interior of a jail cell. You can see a dungeon, and you do see. Actually, I will call for a perception check at this point,
Sure.
Because there's some things you may not see.
No, I rolled well. So it's 25.
Yeah. As you kind of pull yourself up with Boone kind of giving you a boost, you're inside a jail cell. Looking next to you, literally, you see a frantically pulling back up into a corner dwarf who looks exactly like Kellic has in these visions, and he is just kind of like terrified, pulling up into the bars away from the wall that a purple worm just careened past. And into the corner, just kind of breathing hard as you kind of pop your head in.
Oh, well, fuck me. Okay.
Hold on, there are 2 jail cells. You're in one, he's in the other. The room ahead, you can see, as you're kind of looking directly through this hole in the wall, it looks like an interrogation, a torture chamber. There's a rack, and there are items on the walls, and there are manacles that are rusted, and pools of blood. There's a big kind of sewer grate in the middle of the room that you can see is heavily browned and stained. Multiple tables. Through a door in the wall to the left, kind of the wall that would extend off of Kellic's kind of cell, you can see another line of cells, and you can just faintly see the light spilling down of another hallway. As you see a figure kind of stand up and look into the room with a pistol drawn, a mercenary, one of the Crimson Coin, looks into the room where Kellic and you are. What do you do?
Looks in like and has spotted me, or
he's like frantically looking. Purple worm just broke through the wall and is like careening past on the exterior. He's like just frantically looking to see what's going on.
You're still doing anything, baby.
Would I be able to pull myself up and get a couple shots off, or is that going to be too much?
Yeah. If you're gonna, yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna try to mark this guy before. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you go in.
This guy.
You roll in. He runs into the room trying to see as you tumble in, and he is like kind of aiming to pull the pistol. Go ahead and roll an initiative check for me.
Yeah, get him. Get him.
19 on the dice.
No, you beat him. Don't worry about it.
Fuck,
you got him. He's like he's trying. He's aiming in your direction. Is just like trying to he came in, saw Kellic. You tumble into the room. He sees you and sees the hole. Doesn't put together exactly what's happening, but break-in is happening.
Yeah.
Just goes to fire. What do you do?
Yeah. I'm gonna use my bow and try to get shots through the bars.
Easy enough. Go ahead and make your attacks. Drawing the bow, arrows.
The first one is, where's my bow? It's different than everything else. 30.
Hits.
Do you want me to just all 3?
Yeah.
The second one is a 21.
Hits.
The last one is also 21.
Hits. Go ahead and roll damage for 3.
Okay. Could I make my last hit a disarming? Try to get him to drop that pistol?
The last one?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So go for damage on we'll add the damage to the first 2 first.
Okay.
Let's see if you need that.
Minimum, so that's only 7.
Okay.
10.
Okay.
Only bad. Another 10. So it's 3, right?
That's 27. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then is that with your disarming?
Get sneak?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I get sneak. Okay.
For sure.
Mary's the perfect person for this moment. Maybe Hondo is too, but
Hondo could teleport and get to him.
Hondo could have teleported through.
Yeah.
Add another 7 for sneak.
Okay. He is still standing if you want to try and go for the disarm.
Yeah. And so the disarm is a strength save.
Is there additional damage to that?
Yes, there is. Add another 10. That was max on that.
Another 10?
Nice.
Oh,
yes.
So then with another 10 on that is just enough where it's just like you draw 2 arrows and fire both simultaneously. They split through the bars and just dead center and one in the other in the shoulder. He kind of spins, and he's just like, and as he like is like trying to turn back with the pistol, you shoot like the arrow through the hand and like pins into his heart, and he just 3 arrows shot. This guy just falls onto the ground, not making a shot and not alerting that there's anything down here.
Good. I'll just look over to Kellic.
What the fuck?
Feel like getting out of here, and I'm gonna pull the ring that I had, well, the ring that we were using earlier, that his wife gave us, and like flick it over to him.
He just kind of like, it goes through the bars, kind of clatters for a second, and he just kind of grabs hold. He says, got a little situation with the bars though.
What about them?
There's bars between you and I.
Oh, I understand. Okay, give me a second. And I'll just call down for everyone else to come up.
Can I cast command on Hondo?
Hondo's on a person. Does it say creature or humanoid?
It does say creature.
Okay. If it says creature, then absolutely.
So command is one word command to a creature you can see within range. Yeah, so it can't be a sentence. So then
it's a
I'll
single
just
word.
I'll just say up.
Okay.
That's it.
Hondo, make a wisdom saving throw.
Yep, and he has
Negative, actually, it's +4.
+4.
So just a d20 roll for you, Kev, and then +4.
Gotcha.
Where's my spell?
So D10 roll 4.
Sick.
Okay. 8 total is a failure. In your purple worm brain, you're not really Hondo anymore in this moment. This powerful magic has properly turned you into this behemoth of rock eating and tunneling like might. And you just hear, you're not even sure it's Boone, but you hear this just kind of like oddly creepy voice seep in and just say up, and you just instinctively begin to break upwards in your trajectory. Eating through, you guys begin to hear echoing through both sides, like through the building itself and through like the tunnel, and then the tunnel where Hondo has broken up. You see light spilling down into the tunnel ahead, and you just hear stone falling, shattering, breaking, all of this destruction and shouting and firing, all breaking out. And we'll come to Hondo's side of this in a second. As down below, you guys break into the barracks and Kellic is there. What are you doing in the dungeons?
Getting up. If Mary's picking that lock, I will. Can I just do like a perception check to see if any more guards are coming?
Sure, make a perception check. Mary, there's a lock to this cell that you had broke into. Then you have to break into the cell next to it. So there's 2 lock picks to be done. As Mary begins this one, go ahead and roll your lock picking check, Mary.
She just let Mary out. I don't know if she's back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, great.
So lock pick this one.
So 12 plus dex plus proficiency. So that is a 18 plus. What's our proficiency now?
6.
Ooh, wait.
Oh, more than that. So it's 24.
24 is enough. You unlock this cell, make her over to Kellic's cell. Another check here as you are trying to unlock his cell.
Not as good. Only 18.
18 is the DC of these levels. These are not quite the hardest, but they're not easy either. 18 is just what you need to get through the cell doors. And you pop the cell with Kellic holding the ring. Oh, thank you. Who are you?
Friends of your wife for now, but we're going to get you out right in a fucking now.
Wait. That beast you helped build.
Right.
Is there any way to defeat it? Is there any weakness that we can do if it comes out?
You're looking to take that thing on.
Hopefully not, but it might come to it.
Make persuasion checks, both of you, at advantage.
I shouldn't say this, but I'm actually.
Thank you, advantage, because it was bad.
I mean, it's
Great,
free.
15 and a 16. I got 24.
17.
Okay. He's just trying to, like, this has been 30 seconds from a guy who was like about to, wasting away in a jail cell beneath the garrison house. Suddenly freed, purple worm, jail. His wife has made superhero friends. And he's just, right. I call it the shardbound machine. It's powered by this crystal. It's in the heart of the machine, but it's evil incarnate. It radiates villainy. Gets in your head if you get too close. The machine itself is just a machine. It's not sentient. It's a housing for a creature. Yeah, it's a machine you can use to get inside, to destroy. Its pure purpose is destruction. But with this crystal, whatever it is, he wants to destroy her. And he wants to destroy the city if it takes it. With the machine and with this crystal, he could easily destroy this whole ward in one go. If he were to get to her, I don't even think she could survive.
So the general wants to be the pilot.
If it comes to it. But for now, the dragon is in charge of it. He's bound to it somehow. He follows the general's orders like any of his other minions. Just does whatever he wants.
Could be controlled by the same compulsion the other guys are.
Anything,
Sure.
Anything particularly, any kind of damage, any kind of attack that we should really know about?
Get the fuck out of the way of that crystal stuff.
Okay.
It'll fuck you up. But also, this thing is, I hearken to say my own construction it's unkillable. It's undestroyable from the outside.
Oh, jeez.
It'll take a mighty hit to strike it. Magic bounces off of it. That's what the arcurite is made for. But from the inside, there is a self-destruct. That self-destruct is also what will destroy a ward.
So we could either blow it up or destroy it from within.
It's the
That's what I
ghost of
imagine-
Hondo.
that's what I
and
imagine
everyone's
Hondo
afraid.
Say get inside something, huh? One more question for you. We appreciate your forthrightness. Where does the general hide out? Do you know? Is he up above?
I'm sorry, I've been prisoner more than anything. Beneath the barracks, I was housed with a workshop and smithy and forge to construct the machine. There's a section, a new construction beneath the barracks, and access out. That's where the machine is stored. But that dragon spirit within, well, it's awake. It's waiting. It never sleeps.
Right, well, good fucking luck, giant worm Hondo. All
You
right.
hear you feel the ground just shift and quake around you, and like stuff falls from the ceiling as everyone kind of looks up and about. The sounds of explosions and fire, gunfire, and this roar and rumbling through the tunnel of the purple worm, taking damage and dealing damage as you're the Hondo worm is definitely doing its duty. Kellic looks to you and says, "Look, I'm no fighter."
No, we're gonna get you out of here. These fine folks are. Call down to the smiths and
Silver.
Silver kind of has rolled into this room as well and is kind of quickly looking about and says, "Look, Snow, run him back out the other way. And come back. We're gonna need you. The satyr, that snow-furred satyr, kind of lifts up part of this kind of like almost like welder's helm is what she's wearing, and she kind of lifts it up and says, just puts her hand out to Kellic, and he just kind of looks to you all and says, "I can't thank you enough. I hope you can do what you came here to do. I hope to see you again." And he just starts going.
Tell Hilda we say hi.
Out the lifted up by Snow and out the hole, and they start just kind of rushing back the way they came. You guys are in the dungeons beneath the garrison house at this point with the gates open, and you come out from this kind of like interrogation and like torture chamber, these two cells. There's a hallway on the left side. There's a small 10-foot opening, like an arched opening, no door. And there's a length of jail cells against the left wall. It ends kind of at just a stone wall, and up to the right you can see another gate and a stairway lit by flame from above that kind of goes up and in, that leads up and above. However, just as you guys kind of are like taking in all of this, Gord and Mary, with your high perceptions, you see another figure kind of tucked down into one of the dark cells who begins to stand, and you hear, "Perhaps another could be aided today, if you'd be willing." And you can see in the faint firelight the jackal form of the archivist in the jail cell, calling for your aid. As we come outside to Hondo, bursting up through from where you were when Boone cast command on you, Hondo, you come up through a section of the floor of the main atrium of the garrison house. You just burst into what is like a bank, this main bank area. This kind of tan-colored marble shatters and is thrown, and you can see a second-floor balcony where immediately these 3 or 4 kind of snipers and this of the mercenary, the Crimson Coin. You can also see this red-skinned, kind of devilish-looking figure, but not necessarily devilish in nature. This Yugoloth-type figure who has just like been kind of like turns over the crowd and looks to them and just roars in your direction. They're going to shoot a couple shots at you as you break through the floor. No, it doesn't need to make a check for this. Where you broke through the floor, you kind of catch one side of the wall, and where you kind of break through, a section fights you back and holds its position. And as you're kind of like roaring and kind of continuing to try and go up by the command by the end of this round, each of the areas of where there are windows, these massive windows, these big panel windows that shine light, would shine light during the day, shine moonlight currently in the night into the interior of this firelit atrium. The windows hold against even your immense strength. The panes just like fight you off and hold in midair. But you do get shot by the 3 figures up top there, possibly. Let's see.
For damage, like it's just if he goes to 0, he reverts back. It's not like a concentration thing.
As long as Gord is concentrating.
Okay.
It's not Hondo. So the first one is a 20, second one is a 19, and the third one is a 13. So 2 shots hit the worm.
No.
That's okay.
You're okay, buddy. You're okay.
Yeah, that's a pretty good shot, though. You take 26 points of damage on the first. Very high roll.
What's your worm scream sound like? Like your pain scream? What sound does it make?
Scream this in your house. Okay, you're at 202.
You take an additional 15 total from the second shot. Now, I need from Kevin. I'll give you the choice, should you wish to. You've been commanded to go up. That's been complete, essentially. By the end of the round, command is only 1 round, so it fades at this point. But you burst through into the main atrium of the garrison house. However, a purple worm is drawn by many things: hunger, anger, and just the constant cacophony of sound and more destruction to be done. You got shot by a bunch of these fucks up in this space. That could draw your attention. However, outside, you can hear through your tremor sense, you can feel 100+ figures running, arming themselves, preparing for a battle, and you can just smell destructive capabilities beyond. Do you go left and go out to cause destruction in the courtyard, or do you go right and try and kill anything in this building that you can?
Right.
You go right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Killing time.
Killing time for who? Sorry, the courtyard or the guys who shot you?
Guys who shot me.
Hondo, you turn. Let's go ahead and roll initiative. And we'll just do this.
Worm.
No, you know what? We're going to do this with a map. I have one, so I may as well use it. And you guys are just below it. So
yep.
In theory, you could run up and join the fray, but there's other things that could happen here too. So we will run a map here, but let's take a quick break so I can set that up. All right, as we return in the battle in this atrium of the garrison house, you can see purple worm, blue worm, Hondo down there in the bottom left corner. I don't have a purple worm mini, unfortunately, so we're going to use a Remoraz for the time being. But imagine a big-ass worm.
What is this thing in the middle? I don't like it.
So, technically, you haven't seen this yet. But Hondo does see the atrium of the garrison house, this polished floors that you've now destroyed of these sandy marble. You can see 2 bright chandeliers that are lighting the space in the evening. And as you break through this section of ground and wall that breaks away, as I did say, these like panes of force stand still, of window panes that once would have been set within stone that you destroyed. However, you can kind of see a second piece of paper up there where those miniatures act as a balcony that goes over top of the orange spaces. So it's a second floor above that overlooks this space in the middle, this wraparound balcony. And along the back wall, you can see 2 gated doors and an unmanned series of teller windows behind a pane of glass and iron bars of this bank area. And beyond them, there's a dual spiral staircase that leads up and out of sight. However, in the middle of the room, standing as a figure piece of stature or ominous warning, you see a massive skeletal frame atop a dark pedestal. Skinless and still, but an unmistakably draconic form that is put on display in the centerpiece of this room, like a museum collection. Hondo, as the purple worm, go ahead and roll initiative. Actually, we'll have everyone roll initiative now, and we'll just do it all as one. Hondo, your initiative for the purple worm is -2.
Let's go, y'all.
Roll the 12.
So 10, or is that 14 -2?
12 -2.
Okay, so 10 for Hondo. Okay, so 25 to 20, 20 to 15.
Ooh, guys, this is bad.
Guys.
15 to 10.
Oh no.
Wait, what?
What are we doing out here? Why?
Okay, what did everyone just roll? Just tell me that, I guess.
Well, I'm a 10.
Yeah, Hondo's 10.
I got
Not 1.
I also got an 8. I rolled a 12.
I also got an 8.
Okay.
Nat 1 + 1 is 2.
Here's the thing: we're all going together. Like that's kind of good for plan purposes, I guess.
We'll go
Yeah.
in the order Mary, Gord, and Alana in that order based on dexterities.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, Gord has a higher dexterity than Alana, and Mary obviously has the highest.
my dex is +9.
Yeah, mine's +1.
Yeah, okay. And Boone got a 2?
Yeah, baby. Nat 1.
Works
+1.
for me. Okay, so let's see here. So, Hondo, as you break through, we'll start with you. because the shots that rang out there first, you watch as this red-skinned figure just kind of shouts for the others to fire again, and each of them does so. Another 3 shots coming in the direction of the blue-purple worm.
I'm such a target.
You are, yeah, you absolutely are a target.
Huge target.
2 hits
That's
and
just
a
the
miss. Yeah, 2 hits and a miss against purple worm for a total of a total of 13 on the first, and
187 minus 13.
that is a 20 on the second.
Oof. Kev, I can track this for you if you want.
Okay.
That's
bring me down.
I'll put it
their
in the
3
chat.
shots. They're just going to hold their line there and just shoot. You guys roll horribly.
It's at 154.
154. Okay, so we've already whittled them down quite a ways.
It's coming down fast.
So let's see. The mercenaries go, and they're just going to hold their spot there. In the dungeon below, as Silver and about 10 of the smiths are kind of standing, waiting for your direction, Silver turns to you, and you can speak out of initiative order because you guys aren't in a direct combat, those of you below. So you can have a moment here to kind of not count against your action in combat. But as Silver asks, he hears the shooting above and says, "What, are we holding the line here, or what are you planning on doing here? Do you want to go up?"
Well, I think we need to go up. We need to find this book.
We might have to.
Deal. And Silver runs over to the door and he begins picking the lock.
Right? Thanks, Silver.
Yep. He works his way in. Within a couple of seconds, the lock pops open, and it swings open, and he looks up, kind of dodges back to you and says, "We got company," and he starts running up into the stairwell. I just rolled really bad. I'm just going to go through all these other people first.
Yeah, you do your thing. We'll be here.
Let's see. We'll say, yeah, a number of the smiths go up as well. Like they rolled higher than you too. So this group of smiths just start following behind Silver. Snow and Red are nowhere to be seen currently. They've either held the line back at the hole or gotten Kellic out, so they're going to focus on that, while Silver and the other smiths race up into whatever lies up top of the stairs here. Finally, that'll come back to Hondo. Purple Worm, you're up.
All right.
So, as a reminder, this is all like up on top here. So like you're a lot closer than you think. So like this is a second floor balcony that kind of wraps around all of this up here. I just have it as a separate piece.
Could I? This sounds a bit crazy, but like if I were to go, because I'm up, right? I've gone up.
You're up, kind of half. You're about 30 feet of your body sticking up out of the ground, and about 50 feet still working its way below you.
Oh crap! Because I was thinking, like, could I jump from the balcony onto them and crush them?
With your speed of 50, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 gets you to like where the edge, actually it's right here. So 5, 10, 15, 20 gets you to that guy. And if you want to just try and destroy the balcony itself, like the overhang, and you want to just smash into it, I will absolutely let you do that. Make a, this is just a straight like strength check, which is plus 9. So D20 plus 9.
He has 10-foot reach too, if you...
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I rolled a 9.
Okay, 18. Okay, let's, so Hondo, you, in your purple worm form, just rush across and just rise up, we'll say 50 feet of your body now out of the ground, and you just try to bring it down as a large battering ram. An 18, I'm going to give the 2 guys who are there a dex save to try and dodge out of the way against, we'll call it, I mean, you rolled an 18, so we'll call it a dex save of 18. Coming up here for this guy, that is a failure. And for the other guy, that is also a failure. So they both fail to dodge out of the way as you come down.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and roll 4d10.
Ooh, baby.
I got a total of 9.
On 4d10?
Yeah. A 4, a 1, a 1, and a 3.
Wow. Well, that's
Damn.
horrible for you. Still plus 9 for your strength, so 18 points of damage. Unfortunately, not hard enough to break the actual stair of the actual balcony. An 18 was not enough to break it. You do significant damage. The balcony railing is shattered beneath your weight, and these two guys take 18 points of damage as you slam your body down onto them. We'll call that your attack, or one of your attacks. Technically, you have 2 attacks.
Okay.
So you can either do the same thing again and try and break it now with an easier DC, or you can do a bite, and your tail stinger is currently not really... actually, you could pull your tail stinger up and out if you wanted to slither your whole body out here, but you've got a bite with these guys right in front of you.
No, I got to start. I got to start what I finished.
Okay, you're going to smash it. Okay, D20 plus 9.
I rolled a 12.
Okay, that 12 and 9, 21, that's going to be enough to break it. So roll another 4d10. I'm going to give these guys a dex save again at disadvantage.
This is much better. I rolled 24. 5, 4, 7, and 8.
So 34 or 30.
24.
Yeah, but plus 9.
So 33.
33. So what was the first damage I said? 18 and 33. The kind of captain, the commander there, this kind of red-skinned figure, he does actually manage to roll out of the way down into that stairwell that's just off to the left side there. The other guy does not at all, and he is crushed beneath your weight. And this whole section shatters.
Ooh, damn.
And we will say,
Can anybody do the worm?
Jesus.
just a pile
Nice.
of rubble falls
We
onto
got
the
debris?
ground. As this guy is dead, this guy
Sorry.
kind of tumbles down into the stairwell over here. And that will be Hondo's turn. You technically have 30 or 40 more feet of movement. I will call it 30 because you used some movement to kind of rise up and smash. So if you want to try and either worm your way through a wall, do more damage in here, or move around, you can do whatever you want to do.
Sorry, can you tell us what direction the army and outside is?
Yeah, so south of this is the main door.
Got it.
It would lead out this way. You guys came from this direction, so you guys below are kind of below here.
I mean, I'm not adverse to causing more damage.
Sure. It's just, are you causing more damage in here, or are you moving outside?
Oh, I'll move outside. I'll carve a few more tunnels and...
Okay. Then the question here for you is, do you smash through the wall, or do you go back below ground and create another tunnel?
Oh, no, we smash ground.
You got
Jesus Christ.
You work your way out this corner of wall and break your way out. Okay, that is the purple worm. That'll take us to the Marigord and Alana trio. Again, you're not necessarily in combat, so combat is about. It's just easy to organize this way. So if you want to do things a little out of initiative order, totally cool. But you did hear all of that bullshit just now.
And the archivist being like, hey, you want to maybe rescue me too?
Exactly.
Great. I just start laughing because of course he's fucking here. Of course that's what this is all happening. I'll say to him, that depends. How the fuck are you gonna help us? And then I'm going to just try to do a real quick investigation of this room to make sure we're not missing anything, any extra doors, anything.
Okay, we'll call that your action, just for the action economy. And you say, how are you going to help us, essentially?
Basically, like, what's in it for us?
Go ahead and roll investigation for your action.
Okay.
As I need to find my page. Where's the dungeon section? There it is. The archivist kind of looks out to the three of you, and Boone as well. But Boone, you're kind of, we'll say, a step behind as you're deciding between like running up or coming into this conversation with the four of them. He says, well, I know quite a bit about the organization here. I know quite a bit about what you're seeking and where it may be, and what may lie between here and there. You frame me?
Lying.
You've already used your action to investigate here. So
can I use my bonus action? Because I can use my bonus action to investigate as my...
Sure. If that's how you want to break up your action economy, absolutely.
Okay. Well, action. I rolled a 26 for
Investigation. Okay, very good.
Ooh, natural 18 for the insight. So that is a 31.
31 insight.
Yes.
He sees the opportunity here and has no current intentions of fucking you over. He wants freedom, and you can see the gears turning. He wants to use this to run and is willing to give you what you want in exchange for his freedom.
Does he, when he said he knows like where what we're looking for is kind of what I was hoping to...
He's confident in whatever he's offering.
Okay. I'm like, I've used up all my turn in figuring all that out.
I would say that ends your level of you are confident in what he is offering. Your investigation, quick look around the room, but with a very curated eye. There's no other figures in the room. There are no other elements of note, with the exception of you can just at a glance you can see in one of the cells there is like there's a small section where you can see like that brick looks a little funky. That section of bricks looks like it could be removed. And on the guard, you see a ring of keys. You see a key ring with a single key on it. No, it would have a ring of keys. It would have a series of keys, and his equipment and things like that would catch your eye.
Okay.
But Gord and Alana, is there anything you guys do in this moment, continuing the conversation or otherwise?
I'll continue as backup with the conversation just to see where he's gonna go.
Okay. So what do you say?
No, I'll just kind of like step aside and like just at the ready and just wait to see what he says.
Okay. Just kind of holding just like an intimidating position.
It'd be scary, yeah.
Okay. Gord, do you say anything or what do you do here?
I'm just chilling in the corner on the wall, just waiting.
Busy focusing on keeping Hondo a giant ass worm.
Yeah, seriously.
You are maintaining a powerful spell. He looks at the three of you then as you're kind of like Alana and Gord just kind of flanking Mary as Mary's finished kind of looking and scanning about the room and returns to this element of conversation. And he says, upstairs, there are a number of things that may help you downstairs in the vault. I can point you in the right direction. And then I will abscond. I'll be out of your hair forever. I just ask for my freedom.
Can we
any of us do it?
I'm just looking down the initiative to see if there's anybody in the way here. The upstairs, someone else acts in between Alana and his crew, and then Boone. So before Boone goes, up in the fight once more, the two things happen, actually. You guys all begin to hear... Wait, does that happen yet? That won't happen yet. I lied. This guy gets up, comes down this way, sees out into where Worm Hondo has broken through the wall. And I'm going to make him make an intelligence check. Not good enough.
Are you too stupid to run away? Are you like, no, this thing's bad, I'll leave?
No, it was for something else.
Right.
And instead, he disappears from sight. Back below, Boone, we come to you.
I'll like walk up to the jail cell and be like, I guess I'll grab the keys and begin moving over to it and be like, you fuck us after this, you never get your spooky ball.
Make an intimidation check. This will not be part of your action, but just more as part of the how does he actually find you in this moment?
It's a nat one.
You say that and then you fumble the keys and it's like,
fuck, shit. You fucked shit.
And he just kind of looks at you for a second, squints his little beady little eyes with a very wide jackal smile. I'll be the finest kind if given my freedom.
Look at Mary, kind of caught that she thinks he's telling the truth, and then I'll like put the key in. Can that be my action to open that door?
Yeah. You find the key. It takes like 2 seconds to like, you try a key, you got it. The door opens. And you see Mary and Gord with your passive investigations. When the key and door are unlocked and opened, there's a very faint kind of fizzling energy. And you can see the archivist kind of sigh of relief, this very faint sigh as he steps out. You're not sure exactly what it was, but he steps out and kind of like cracking his fingers and says, well, it sounds like there's some action above. Perhaps we should go and see what we can find.
Talk while we go.
Lead the way. Okay, so coming upstairs. How do I want to do this initiative?
Do I need to carve a new tunnel?
Well, you went out into the main compound area. You're just kind of out in the shit. So there's no point running initiative for you. I think at this point, rather than you being in an initiative order, I think we just do at the 20 count of any initiative. The worm is doing something destructive and getting destroyed by whatever is happening outside. And we'll just play it out kind of round by round as to what is happening outside. So we'll call this your turn, your action here. With the worm, you exit out through the wall of the garrison house proper, smashing and eating and munching down this like marble stone. And you kind of slump down into the kind of sandy like ground of the military compound. And you can already see there are sections of all the things that you saw as Hondo in the middle of this military compound. There are 100+ mercenary figures arming up and running in different kind of groups all around the space. Several headed towards like maybe a dozen figures headed towards the garrison house. As you come through it, they all skid to a halt, kind of drop to a knee or get behind cover. There are 2 sniper positions, kind of watchtowers in the middle of the compound. All guns are kind of rising and aiming in your direction. You also see the barracks compound to the right by about 100, 200 feet that you could make your way below and destroy. And even through the lack of intelligence, the Hondo of everything remembers there's a big explosive compound pile at the far corner, almost like the exact opposite. The back right corner is where we started. At the front left corner was kind of an explosives hold. And I think even through the transformation, Hondo would remember that.
Yes.
For sure.
So, given a dozen plus people literally on the ground about to shoot, 2 sniper positions that you could kind of barrel, like scaffolding style, the barracks and beneath where you believe the machine to be, and the explosive bay, where do you go?
I was wondering if I went underground,
Mhm.
could I come up in the Wet Arms Depot?
You could certainly try. Remembering that your perceptions and like your mental abilities are very negative currently compared to Hondo's very good. You can give it a shot. Like there's no fucking problem with trying. If your aim is to like dig below ground and try and come up and like break through the wall and that explosive depot, I will say nothing. Actually, you're not smart enough to know that. Never mind.
Because my other option is that I would just thrash around the room and just start smashing into people.
Well, you're outside now. You're out in the compound, so you can do that if you want to just attack the hundreds of civilians. If that's what you want to do. Actually,
you don't want a big explosion.
The one thing I'll say is even in the lower intelligent form, being above ground puts you at severe risk of getting shot a lot.
Yeah.
So it will chew away at you because now you're an open target. If you were to go below ground in some capacity, you are protected by ground, making it harder to do damage to you. And you can just keep doing this kind of rise and fall, burst through the ground protective thing. Or, do fucking damage above ground.
I think, so I'm going to go for, I know that my perception is shit. I'm going to take the risk, and I'm going to try and go for the arms depot.
I love it. Okay. The worm burrows below ground once more. We'll come back to you because it's going to take a couple of rounds for you to get across, having to burrow through. So I'll keep that in mind that you're headed in that direction. We're going to make a check in, we'll say, 2 to 3 rounds of whatever else is happening here, so to speak, and see what happens. So you guys inside, you just hear a cacophony of rock destruction and fire. But in the immediate vicinity, as you can hear the sounds of combat above you, you guys rush up the stairwell. In what order?
Could I actually, before, I'll beat it back because I just want to take a quick look at those bricks.
Okay.
You mentioned there's an area where bricks look off.
You'll have to pick through one of the cell doors.
Oh, it's in the different cell.
It's in a different cell.
What wall would that be on? Is it an interior or an exterior wall?
It would be an interior wall. It would look towards more of the garrison house.
I'm going to cast... what's that little bonus action thing? Shield of Faith on myself.
Okay.
And I'm going to... I'd like to be in front of Gord, because if I'm near him, I can give him a +3 to his con check.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, Elena should stick with him too, because she has a thing that can add to his AC if she needs to.
Yeah.
Anyone within 10 feet of Boone gets a +3 to all saves as well.
That's great.
So we could go me, Gord, Brawley.
Okay.
3 of us.
And then Mary taking up the rear. Yeah. Okay, so me, Gord, Brawley, Mary, just so I have that there. Okay. As you guys rush up the stairs, you come into a tight space as there are many combatants in here. Immediately on the inside here, you can see Silver and 2 of these other smiths are in close hand-to-hand combat with 2 mercenaries, as you've come to recognize military mercenaries of the Crimson Coin. They are on the left side of the room. You can see this kind of array of crystal balls that are gently kind of stacked and floating in areas, and each of them is showing a different image of somewhere kind of constantly, and there's kind of general arcane light that's kind of coming from behind, almost backlighting it. You can see kind of in the middle of the room there's a table, there's a kind of a locker space, there's an area for a weapons rack that has been mostly emptied at this point, and you can see them holding weapons. Pardon me, with the 3 security mercenaries who are inside this room. There is a single door out and no windows or anything else. There's one door out and one door down below to back where you were. The door is the door is open, so you can kind of see a hallway of tan marble beyond into the kind of atrium area beyond. And you can hear more fighting out that way.
Where should we go, Archivist?
Forget this. Keep going.
Follow him. Keep pushing forward.
He pushes you guys out of this kind of combat, this immediate combat, as Silver and the Smiths have these two guys in like the security office, and you come out into the main atrium, and you can see the destruction caused by Hondo as described earlier. The one section of wall is kind of fallen away, though you do note the kind of now two massive hovering panes kind of hovering in the middle of the air. They're kind of like they're covered in dust, so now you can see them, but they're like kind of hovering in the middle of the air. About the space, you can see the massive draconic bone statue in the middle of the room. But you're on the other side of those teller windows as you're kind of coming up the back hallway. To your right, there's a spiral staircase that leads up, and all of you can kind of hear the sounds of footsteps above kind of echoing down from this stairwell to your right. Up above directly, you can kind of hear echoing on the balcony that you're beneath, essentially, at this point. You also hear, but only two or three, but they're heavy footfalls kind of running. They're kind of running opposite you. So where you guys are running along the length, they're coming behind and coming around the back. But as you wrap around with the Archivist out front, let me see one thing real quick. I need to see. You watch the Archivist kind of like, and you see just a spell be cast, and multiple versions of the Archivist, illusory versions, are kind of around him at this point. And he's just, in case of emergency, you recognize a mirror image spell being cast. But he comes to a door on the far side and kind of pushes through. It's unlocked. He pushes through. There's a door immediately to the right that he doesn't go to, and it's a door on a second door on the right side. At this point, we're going to return to initiative as so many things happening all at once. Breaking from invisibility at the Archivist, as the Archivist is reaching to the door, you watch this devilish figure bring a great axe down and embeds it into the door where the Archivist is reaching to. The Archivist kind of dodges out of the way, one of the mirror images scattering in place. And we return to initiative with this figure here and the number of other combatants kind of about the space. I need to write it all down. So this is Archivist is up first, actually, in this case.
Oh, good job.
Archivist rolled not bad. This guy rolled better than all of you.
Not hard to do.
Mary, Gord, Elena, Boone, Archivist. Okay. Oh, shit. Sorry. Okay. So, jumping back onto the map here, you guys watch as the Archivist and all of you are kind of coming through this section over here. Boone up front, concentrating on Shield of Faith.
Mm-hmm.
Gord concentrating on True Polymorph. Alana and Mary have taken up back. This guy through the rubble is there, onto the top screen at this point. I need another marker here. Gord's concentration. These two guys. Let me bring this a little closer just so we can see. These two guys.
Oh boy.
are up top here. I need. Where is my archivist? You will do. You're not the archivist, but you. Okay, so let's get a little closer. So immediately you watch this creature just like try and bring an axe down. If against the archivist, the mirror image is shattered, and he begins to kind of move out of the way. The mercenaries up top see this action and see their kind of commander, captain, whatever, in danger, and they get to act first. They get to shoot between Gord, Boone, and the archivist. I'm gonna roll a d20 to see if the second shot goes towards Boone or Gord. If it's a 10 or below, it's Gord. If it's an 11 or higher, it's Boone.
Probably we might need your thing. I don't know.
It's a 10. Yeah. A 10 on the die means it's Gord.
Oh, no.
So Gord is going to get shot with one, and the archivist is going to take the other. So let's see. Archivist shot coming in here. 15 does not hit. And then against Gord, a 20 total.
How does your thing work, Raleigh?
Well, that
What's Gord's AC? Just base?
I think, right?
Gordon?
16.
16, okay. Did you cast Shield of Faith on him or on yourself?
That was on me.
Okay, so what's Alana's thing you're trying to look at?
Alana has warding maneuver.
yeah, it says if you or a creature you can see within 5 feet is hit by an attack, you can roll 1d8 as a reaction and add the number rolled to the creature's AC against the attack if you're wielding a melee weapon or a shield. If the attacks,
So, you need to roll a 5 or more on a d8 to deflect the bullet.
Okay.
So go ahead, roll a d8.
Okay.
Do it, Raleigh. Get it.
4.
Oh.
Dang. It says if the attack still hits, the target has resistance against the attack's damage.
Oh, that's great. So you bring it just to 20, which is what I rolled. I rolled a 20 to hit, and you bring his AC up 4 to 20. So unfortunately, you bring Stormbreaker out as a shield to try and catch the bullet, and you catch half the bullet. The other half splits on the blade and does impact Gord. Not nearly as deadly as it could be. So he will take half damage here from a total of
Cool little thing.
8 and 14 from 22 to 11. So Gord, take 11 points of damage. And I need you to make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw.
+3 from me.
+3.
What dice, sorry?
A Constitution... No, a con save from you.
Con... What did I add from Scott?
You have a +3 on top of whatever you roll.
Okay, I'm going to use luck.
What did you roll? What did you roll?
I rolled a 6.
Okay, so it would only be a 9. That would be a failure.
Yeah! 17 plus whatever Scott added.
Man.
Yeah, you're good. So, using one of your lucks, which will come important as we play out this game, one of your lucks is utilized as the damage hits you, but where Brawley was able to kind of split the bullet, it just kind of cuts across your cheek, leaving this kind of bloody gash through the fur and cutting through the whiskers of your kind of glistening white fur now. But you're able to kind of hold concentration of the magic, knowing the importance of the spell that you're concentrating on, and continuing the fight. The mercenaries at that point... One comes down, one goes there. And that will end their turn, taking us to the Archivist. The Archivist is going to, with mirror image up, let's see. I mean, yeah, he's just going to do some big... Actually, he's going to try and hold monster this guy in front of him. Hold monster, wisdom saving throw. That is only a 10. That is a failure. The captain creature before you all is held. This on him for that. This on him. This creature before you is paralyzed as the archivist manages to do that, and the archivist is going to push against the door, and you see the door itself. He finds resistance. He looks back at the group of you and says, "We need to get in there," and then he is going to back away over to here. That ends his turn. At the end of each of his turn, the target can make a wisdom saving throw. So this captain creature that's directly before you ends his turn because he's paralyzed, but he does get to make another wisdom save. Is a massive fail with a 2 and a 3, so he is paralyzed still. And we come to Mary's turn. Mary, you're at the back of this crew. I want to point out the door here is clogged. You can't move through there.
I can't move through the door at all.
No. However, this kind of area here is like I know you can't see it with the dragon. There's like a bank teller window here with these little window slots. You could try and move through there with an acrobatics check and dive through.
Yeah.
If you fail, you lose half your movement.
Yes, I will Scott Pilgrim through the window. Yeah. That's my goal.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an acrobatics check.
Hey, very good.
Okay.
I rolled a lot of 18s on the dice today. It's a 30 total.
So 20 feet of movement with a dive gets you through on top of some of this rubble here. Yeah. You're still 15 feet from this door and 10 feet from him. Okay.
I'll get a melee with him. That's fine. To look at the door. I want to try to investigate the door with my bonus action.
Oh, okay. Yeah. From a distance, though?
Can I get up to it or no?
You're 5 feet shy.
I'm 5 feet shy.
Yeah.
Okay, then I guess I'll instead use my dash to get there.
Okay.
And then I have extra movement so I can get back out of the way, so that actually works out. And I'm going to investigate the door real quick to see why it's stuck, if it's a magic thing, if it's a...
Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation.
It be a lockpick thing. There's traps. Okay. That is 27.
Yeah. Okay, 27. Great. So
I think. Wait. No. Wait. Yes. No. It is 27. Okay. Sorry. I'm not doing good math today.
That's okay.
It is 20. It is 27. I just fucked up.
Sorry. 1 sec. So 27. Yeah. You very quickly look around. The door itself, you don't see any traps. The lock itself doesn't look trapped. You quickly turn the handle. The handle turns. This door is unlocked. You go to kind of push against it. There's a physical resistance. And you can hear with a 27 and like the shape of the shadows beneath the door, there's like a figure pushing back against you. It's a contested, like holding it closed. You've used your action to do that and your bonus action to kind of get additional speed. So you can't push against it.
Nope, that's fine. I'll back up.
One other thing you gather with that check.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very high investigation check and you're, in the heat of battle. However, you can smell smoke coming from that room.
They're burning something. They're burning documents. They're burning shit. I'll take a step back so that I'm not... Wait, is this guy like stunned or what's the...
He's paralyzed. You see he's like in the middle of an attack. He's like ready to fight and he's like all of his muscles. He's shirtless. He's like a monster.
Okay.
And every muscle is tense, waiting to attack and can't.
Okay. I'll take another step back because I have lots of movement left now. So I'll get up on top of that rubble, or I don't know, just get out of the way, and then be like, Alana, through the door. They're burning fucking something. There's a lot of bad guys in there. We need that shit open.
Okay, I'm on it.
Okay. From Mary, we go to Gord. Gord, it is your turn before Alana here. You're kind of in the middle of this pack here. You've got this guy here, and you know there are 2 other mercenaries and whatever's in this office.
I can't do that much, right? Because I'm like concentrating.
You can cast normal spells as long as it's not another concentration spell. So you can cast any spell that isn't concentration with no issues.
Interesting.
You can take any normal action. You can do any of your staff stuff, again, just as long as it's not a concentration thing.
Hold on a sec. My browser's frozen.
No problem.
Okay. So there's that guy right in front of me, right? This big guy?
He is held, so like he's not really an issue right now. He's
but he's paralyzed. He's stuck in movement. So paralyzing him gives advantage. Sorry, let me pull up exactly what paralyzed condition.
You also want to make sure that you don't get yourself hit, so keep yourself somewhere that's not overly in danger. But if you have shit from a distance,
he will automatically fail strength and dexterity saves, and attack rolls against him have advantage.
I wonder if we could like push him out of the way. I should have tried to do that.
I will look at him and do penance stare.
Ooh, okay, all right. It is not a dex or strength, so he does have a wisdom or intelligence save. If you can remind me. Charisma save. Okay. You step forward and get close, and we'll see what happens. Oh my god, that's so bad. Rolled a 1 and a 3 with advantage on magical effects. So it's a definite fail. And you can sense immediately as you get up into his face, you get into this creature's presence. This creature is definitely evil. This creature has done some shit and is not doesn't feel guilty about it. You can punish that.
10d8 psychic damage. Let me just roll this real quick.
Please do.
38.
38. Okay. And he is frightened of you?
So they're stunned until the beginning of your next turn. Additionally, I regain hit points equal to half the inflicted damage. If the creature succeeds the save, they suffer half as much damage, but resist the stun effect. If the creature is truly innocent and good, they suffer no penalty or pain.
He is definitely evil, so none of that. However,
imagine he wasn't.
If he dealt 38 points of damage, you regain 19 hit points.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then he is stunned, but he's also paralyzed, so it's kind of like a...
I don't think he fears me, though.
Okay, I thought that was an element of it. That's okay. Works for me.
Sorry. If the target... Oh, never mind. Sorry.
No worries. All good.
Never mind. I can't read.
That's okay. Who needs reading? Okay, that is your action. And then do you want to move anywhere else? I can pull the thing back up. So...
Can you quickly run over again who's who?
Yeah, I know it's a pile, and it's kind of all jumbled in a very tight little spot here. So, okay.
As a bonus, can I turn on Herald of Death?
Yeah, absolutely. You engage your form of death, and you gain temporary hit points. And everyone in here needs to make wisdom saves against fear. Except your friends up.
I was like, even us?
Let's see. Okay, let's see. Is it a wisdom safeguard?
I think this font's so small. Yeah, wisdom.
Okay, so the captain fella here fails with a 12, and the two mercenaries fail as well. No, one succeeds with a 19, I believe. No, a 20. That's a 21. Good for you. So one succeeds, but one fails definitely.
We need 46 psychic damage.
Okie dokie. Roll that.
12.
12 points. The captain figure, this Yugoloth figure before you, is seriously fucking hurt, stunned, paralyzed, his brain being rattled by you. And you see this figure up top here take cover as he takes some damage and is also frightened of you. The other seemingly unaffected. Let's see. What was the damage you said, sorry? 12?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. That is Gord's turn. Alana, we come to you. And as Leah asked, so we've got Mary kind of up on the rocks here. This is still technically here, but it's already a mess, so I'm going to move it. Gord is also kind of up on the rocks, flanking. The Archivist is pulled back. There's a door here that Allie can move through, and Boone is directly ahead there. But the door to this room where you're trying to get is right here. So Allie has to go 5, 10, 15 feet to get to the door.
Okay.
And then you've got the balcony. This section of the balcony has kind of fallen down and like destroyed this over here. So it's kind of on top of the room you're going into.
Okay.
It's like fallen down and then the rubble is spilled out this way. However, the room is still intact. And then up top and down over there, you've got these other kind of figures. And then below, I can take this paper away now. In here is the other skirmish going on with the other, with the Smiths.
Okay.
But that is currently not a concern.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll go to the room that Mary called me out to, and I'll try and open it.
Okay, so it is going to be a contested athletics check.
Okay.
Between you and me.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll athletics versus this guy's athletics.
Get him, Brawley. Come on.
23.
6.
Sweet.
There's a moment of hesitation before you just stand back and kick the door in with a heavy dwarven boot. And you see inside this very lavishly decorated office, you see this figure kind of stumble back. A figure that you haven't seen, but a type of Yugoloth that you have. The first Yugoloth you guys battled in the kind of courtyard outside of Second Chances was this kind of weird one massive armed Yugoloth figure and one small arm figure. And it was shirtless, though this one is clothed in like very expensive looking robes and has kind of a series of books and things on the side pouches, and looks truly afraid of you as you burst into the room. And he's just kind of like, he has his like big arm up, and his other arm, you can already see like this kind of electricity kind of gathering in the small hand. However, you also sense in the room very quickly, as everything is kind of happening as you break in here, the walls are more of that same tan marble, but the shelves themselves are cut into and display books and maps and star charts and curios and tools and all these little things. The desktop is a mess of papers, but also ash, as you smell and see smoke and fire on the other side of the desk at the back of the room. You are within 5 feet of this guy here, and about 10 to 15 feet from what would be this fire. What do you do?
I'll go in the room.
Okay. Are you going for the fire, or are you going for him? What do you want to do?
I'll go for him.
Okay. Are you gonna try attack?
No, I want to confront him.
Okay.
Here's
I'll just be
somebody,
like,
Molly.
oh, sorry. Didn't know you were in here.
He just says, well, then you could please leave.
No, I don't. I just, no, I'm not going to. What are you doing in here?
I don't want to make you leave, but I will. And you see lightning begin to kind of form in his hand.
Whoa, easy there, fella. There's a fire over here. There's stuff going out there. Okay, calm. I'm not gonna hurt you. Let's talk this through really quickly.
He looks all about the space towards the fire and then looks outside, and through the door he can see Boone, and he can kind of see Gordon, he can kind of see the archivist, and he's heard what else has been happening here, the cacophony of destruction. Go ahead and make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Okay.
And we'll see what he does here.
15.
Okay. You get a very quick insight on this guy. He doesn't want to fight, but he is not okay with where this seems to be going. And he kind of, the lightning kind of descends from his hand, and he just kind of is aiming to kind of shift and like keep his hands up to try and avoid a fight, but his eyes are darting all around the room. He is not comfortable. He's still being shifty, but he's dropping aggressive with you.
Okay.
I'm going to call that your action. Like between smashing through the door and then talking to him. Okay. That would be the end of your turn, unless you want to have any last second things here.
No, just that. I hope someone heard me.
Oh yeah, I mean, everyone's right beyond the door, so they would all have heard you. That's going to take us to Boone.
Yeah, I heard this whole encounter.
You just heard that all through the doors. Allie breaks down the door, and then you hear the two voices. Everything kind of echoes in this room of like marble and stone.
Can I immediately come inside and be like, what should I do? I'm gonna go over to the fire immediately. Like, did it seem, when I walk in the room, does it seem like papers are on fire?
It's hard to tell, but within a quick couple of seconds of like taking about 10 feet into the room, passing by Brawley and this large figure who is like 12 feet tall. Like, this is a big, like broad-shouldered creature, though kind of somewhat cowardly in the face. Like, you can see there's like this almost like weaselish kind of like, how do I get out of this attitude? But you make your way around the room and quickly looking, you can see there's like a waste bin, like a metal waste bin that fire is kind of crackling and burning.
I'll like kick over the fire, just like try and like to spread it.
You dash it, and just kind of like a bundle of papers and like thick coated like vellum and ash and things just kind of scatter out. The fire's still slowly burning them. You can try and put it out if you like. It's going to cost you your action though.
No, I'll just be like, where is the book?
Make an intimidation check.
Yeah, can I add to that? We don't want to hurt you. All we want is the book. Where is it?
Okay. Oops.
Nice. 16 plus 8 is 24?
16 plus 8 is 24. Okay. He just kind of... He's looking about the spaces. There are many books in here. Which book are you seeking?
You know the one.
He looks He looks to a shelf to his right.
Follow his eyes. Yeah.
Looks to a shelf to his right, and then reaches out with his kind of large hand and grabs a copy of a book in this kind of thick leather tome. And he kind of holds it in this massive hand. And he says, actually, he says nothing, but he kind of like books fall as he grabs hold of it, and he kind of hands it to you, this massive tome.
I'll grab it and in Infernal just say, we all want to be free.
You see that kind of register with him, and there's a faint kind of twitch and nod. But he is just kind of twitching, like fighting something.
You keep going.
I was just going to say, as you grab the book, because you speak Infernal, you can read the title, which otherwise is written in Infernal script. And it says The Infernal Crusade is written on it.
That's not necessarily the one we want, but it could just be something like...
It doesn't say the Book of Keeping on it.
Yeah.
But...
I just don't trust this. Okay. Like, I've said a lot now. Do you want me to keep going, or do you want me to switch to someone else?
Yeah, I guess because you came in and doused the fire as well. So yeah, your action would be done at the point of you retrieving the book would be the end.
I'll just be like staring at him as I hold it and glance at it, just still unsure.
Cool. That's going to take us to the end of your turn. To the top of the round, Hando the Purple Worm, careening across the Garrison House compound. Make a straight, just roll a d20 for me.
Okay.
And we're going to add the Purple Worm's wisdom bonus to this, which is -1.
And I rolled a 7.
Okay. 6. That's okay. That's your first round. I'm in my head, I've got the trajectory from where you started with the intent of hitting the kind of the explosives bay to where this will end up after the series of checks we're going to do. However, before you descended with all these, there's one shot that kind of rings out to kind of hit you before you descend from one of the snipers above. We'll see if it hits.
Oh shit!
It does not. Don't worry about it. You actually hear the sniper kind of like fire, and then like a secondary explosion, and the figure holding it scream as you dive below ground.
Sick.
You are on your way. The interior, this figure before you would act in initiative now.
The librarian. From the archivist to the librarian.
This figure who handed you this book, you successfully have diffused this moment here. Yeah. You guys watch as this figure is kind of standing there, and in a flash says some words in a language you neither understand, and like the small hand kind of like, and he disappears. Pushing past Alana physically, you feel the massive body push past you and aim out the door. You technically could get an attack opportunity if you want to try and attack. It's a disadvantage as it's invisible. But do you want to try and attack this figure or let him go or do something else? It would be your reaction regardless, but like...
It's up to you, Brawl.
What do you do?
Remember when Brawley tried to charm a baby Kraken?
It worked.
Should I? I don't know, because like if I attack him...
He didn't attack us, he just left.
Yeah, okay.
He could warn someone, and then we'll all die, and it's your fault.
Oh, see?
It's tough. It's tough, you know?
In fairness, there's also a purple worm destroying things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is fair.
But were those Ash's children? Kyle,
be.
in the waste paper bags?
Only one way to find out. You gotta go check.
Okay, instinctively she would freak out and try and knock him out, but not
Yeah.
kill him. Just knock him out.
I mean, you wouldn't kill this guy in a single blow. Right?
No,
I mean,
no.
Big creature, one of these Yugoloths, like a powerful creature in his own right. You just convinced him not to make an aggressive action against you, and you can tell he's looking to run, to free himself in whatever capacity. Between the two of you and his general demeanor, for whatever reason, a little different than some of these other ones. Do you want to? You will not knock him out in this hit, but you can try and make him drop his invisibility by hitting him, and maybe make a continued attempt to hold him here. But if you want to try and hit him to make that easier, absolutely.
Yeah, she would do it just out of instinct, but also give him like a little like not expecting him to jump out. So hopefully signaling to him.
Make your attack roll at disadvantage because he is invisible.
Okay.
I don't want to do this.
I don't want to do this.
Why are you making me kill you?
Why are you making me do this?
16.
A 16 does not hit.
Okay. That's for the best.
Little apprehension. You swing Stormbreaker, not even with the blade, like the flat side, just trying to hit him but not hurt him, and invisibly able to kind of evade and gets out. However, will have no choice but to pass by Mary and Gord as well. But there's no real way to get past both of them without, no way to get past either of them because the other guy is stun locked. So both of you feel something brush past you invisibly, both Mary and Gord, something big and stomping kind of away in a hurried kind of breath. Do either of you take attacks of opportunity?
Attacks of opportunity are a melee attack. Can a melee be a grapple or no? Is that different?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll just try to grab at it, I guess.
I will also
I'm
say
not super strong, but
you still have disadvantage. He's still an invisible target.
So is it an athletics check at disadvantage?
Athletics at disadvantage versus his athletics or acrobatics.
Which I'm sure is higher than mine, but we'll see. Roll a 17 and a 10, so 19.
It rolls a 20, literally.
Oof.
Just over. You grab invisibly, kind of your blade. I guess we should have asked into this earlier because you had mentioned it to me, kind of off camera, that whether you could do this. Are you wielding the shard blade affliction with two hands or one hand and a shield?
I don't have a shield. My shield is...
Well, you have a shield, but it's not activated.
No, I think I just have only the one sword right now.
Are you doing it two-handed or do you have an offhand?
I don't think I have an offhand right now.
So you're doing two-handed with affliction?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. As you are just try and grapple, it's an invisible creature. You don't even know the size, and you just you gather skin, but it slips out of your grasp. Gord, are you trying an attack of opportunity of some kind as well, or are you letting him go?
I'll let everyone else handle it. I think I've done enough so far.
You're focusing on this worm, oh fuck.
Sounds good.
Yeah, what the hell? I got enough to worry about over here.
This
Somebody
figure
else do something.
continues, and you have no way of tracking where they are for the time being. They'll end their turn, take us to the Archivist's turn. The Archivist is going to look at the figure you guys have held and cast a Finger of Death.
Oof, this guy's not fucking around.
And it's con save, so he does still get to make a saving throw. With not enough to do that, and not enough hit points to survive.
Uh-oh.
You watch this figure who has been held, stunned, destroyed, just wither and turn to ash and destroy before you, before the Archivist follows in behind you all and says, "Where's the manager? Did he evade you?"
The invisible fucker that went that way?
Indeed.
Why do we need him?
Well, he would have the answers we seek, but perhaps they're still in here. he begins to kind of look around, but he's already taken action this turn. So in theory, the combat for now falls as Gorda successfully like frightened and scared away the other mercenaries.
True.
And there are other smiths in the space who then kind of fan out to like take on the fight. We can focus now on this moment. However, we're going to come back to Hondo.
Yep.
Make another D20 roll for me. And we're going to do -1 for your wisdom to see if you can write the trajectory you're on to get to this point you're looking for.
15.
Okay. All right. That's better. You're still churning for it. You got one more round, and you will reach whatever destination you believe to be on your way to. So, back inside, you guys are... the archivist says, there are traps beneath in the vault. There will be key codes, phrases, some capacity to evade them. I don't know exactly what we're looking for, but I know Raz Irnath, who you've just allowed to leave, holds those secrets here somewhere.
Probably in the burning bucket.
Ah, well, of course. Destroying evidence, great. See what you can find.
He also gave me this book.
You see immediately the Jackal's eyes kind of light up as he says, excellent, the key code. And he starts he takes it from me if you allow him.
Yep. And
he starts flipping, and as in front of you openly, he starts flipping
behind him to look over his shoulder,
flipping through the book. And as he opens the front cover and starts flipping like groups of pages, big chunks at a time, you can see lines of text in Infernal script crossed out with charcoal, like tons of it, cross, and he flips, and finally reaches a page that midway down has been charcoaled, and then it stops, and the book continues. And he says, somehow beneath, they've used this as a passcode, a phrase, some capacity. This text, this line will be your key.
Can I read it?
Yeah, in Infernal. It is... It's a text that I don't think you would have any reason to be aware of in the first place. And most of the text where it's been charcoaled out is like heavily charcoaled out. So you can't even read previous text. The next line, however, reads, the greatest victories require the greatest battles. And then it ends. And it's just kind of like continuing a text of as you continue reading the page, it's almost like it's
like an art of war kind of thing.
Precisely. It's an art of war in Infernal script.
What was it called? Infernal Conquest?
The Infernal Crusade.
Very deadly.
Did someone write that passphrase down?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Archivist kind of general gestures for you to fan out and search for other things. Codes, clues.
Okay, while they do that, I just want to keep an eye on him and be like, what comes out after the vault when we do these passcodes?
I don't know the order in which they're in. I just know that the answers are found here by this figure who you've allowed to leave, but certainly there's some record of them here. They change them out by the week.
Dude, you can't be pissed at us when you didn't give us any context or information, and I'm going to start looking around the room and do an investigation check.
He just kind of scowls. Says, time is of the essence.
I can still murder you.
He starts backing towards the door.
No.
Easy.
He's at... It's a 15-foot room. It's not hard. His back is at the door and says, I'm not concerned about you. The general still is in this building, and there's been enough commotion to call him.
Listen, we all want to be free, and this is the way through.
Mary, are you making an investigation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Make an investigation or perception check for anybody who wishes.
26.
26. You immediately go to the fire, obviously. That's the first section to check. Two things you find. In the fire itself, there are papers that are burned, vellum that has recently been drawn on, and a large kind of star chart. It's like a map of the stars, as you may have seen in many different places. There are several constellations, and some are marked, some all over the place. But in the fire, there are there are 3 pieces that are partially burned. And as you kind of pick it all up and you look on the desk, you can see others on the desk. You can see 2 or 3 on the desk that are intact. and you can see like ledgers and stacks of books, and let me see, what else can you find? Sorry. Yeah, you're able to retrieve them enough with Boone having coming in to douse the fire. You're able to retrieve the ones that are in the fire with relatively intact, and several on the desk. And they line up on the star chart. These kind of short little drawings that line up with the star chart markings, and it explains which one's which. You see there are 5 that are on this star chart that was trying to be burned. 2 on the desk are, it's labeled Starcrest, and 1 is labeled the Gem Drake. The 3 that were attempted to be burned in the fire are Aurelia's Bow, Mount Celestia, and the Dwarf Lords. Each are 5-point constellations in random kind of order and lines, and that's it.
Isn't Aurelia's Bow the
A vestige.
One of the artifacts.
What was that? Did you say the Gem Drake was one of them?
Mm-hmm.
Starcrest, Gem Drake, Aurelia's Bow, Mount Celestia, and Dwarf Lords. Or a number of, they're all corresponding to the star chart, right?
Yeah, you can see all of them are reflected on the star chart.
It seems important. I don't know what it is, but we're keeping it just in case.
You guys hear kind of shuffled, quick footsteps from the atrium beyond that rushes up towards you, as Silver and a couple of the smiths behind says, "Well, the atrium has been taken for us for the time being, but I don't think we're alone in here. Heard some sounds above. We haven't ventured up yet."
I'll look over to the archivist. Where are we going from here?
Below. He leads you.
Specifics would be okay.
He leads out into the main foyer, gestures to the Drake, the statue, and points to a point on the ground. This plaque at the base of the statue, and says, "Behind that, you'll find a keyhole through which the descent is revealed. You'll need one of those to get through beyond, and the vault lies down there. I've done my duty to you. Good luck." And he begins to evade.
See you later. Go up to this keyhole thing.
You, it's not visible, but he pointed behind the plaque, and as you kind of move the plaque, it does kind of like tilt up, almost like on a hinge, and there is a keyhole behind the plaque.
I don't got a key, Mary. You got a key?
I mean, you have ring of keys, don't you?
I don't know if it'd be one of these. You want to try and pick it?
Do any of the does the keyhole match up with the size of the keys that Boone has, or are they like bigger, larger lock keys?
Make an investigation check.
29.
Doesn't look like.
Jesus.
These keys don't seem to match the size, the style, the metal. It doesn't fit.
Fuck.
You do with a 29. You gather very quickly. You've picked locks. You've dealt with particularly hard to access items and things. This is a particularly safe and well designed lock, which has a specific key. You're not sure if that specific key must be used, or if it. You gather that if not the proper key is used, if you try to pick it and it doesn't work, this is certainly a trapped position. And a deadly one. At this point, Honda, make one last D20 roll.
Gotcha. And I roll a 6.
Okay. Out in the courtyard, and all of you inside beginning to hear like a gathering of heavy footfalls nearing the garrison house. Like you can just hear through the open, broken wall, and you can see them because you're in the atrium. The amassed mercenaries are coming to the aid here. You are about to be swept by the coming group. Hondo, as a purple worm, you don't see for the time being. You can feel the tremors in the ground, and suddenly at the far side of the space, Hondo just bursts up through a section of wall, sending scattering men on top of the walls flying. A tower crashes. A section of wall completely falls away, and many of the figures turn back towards the purple worm, again rising from the ground, and a section of wall just kind of breaks and falls. No further explosion goes off. However, Hondo, you're very close, and you can see a group of soldiers, like 20 of them, are standing around this position. The door is open, and they are handing barrels out, like they are moving things out of a building, hand by hand, like in a line.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's time to blow it up.
Okay. Are you going to do the same thing where you kind of rise up and fall on top of it? Or are you going to try and just bite out and try and... What are you going to try and do? How are you going to do this?
I'm wondering, can I shield myself underground while this explosion goes off?
This is
Like,
cool.
could I somehow set off a charge?
Well, you're a big worm.
Not as a worm.
Are there fires anywhere? Are there like lanterns or?
Yeah, what if you set your tail on fire and just smash into it?
I mean, you guys would know that any like heavy disturbance of this stuff will blow it up. It'll be... all he needs to do is smash it, and it will blow.
Use your tail attack or something.
If you do it with your body, it also is going to hurt you. You know that.
Yeah. And the explosion will hurt, right? It will kill me, right?
Oh, I
Maybe
mean,
you
it
can try
might
and
knock you
another
back to being
tower
Hondo.
into it or something. Is there anything around you can try and knock into it, like domino it?
There's other
Maybe
rocks, there's walls, there
are people.
are people.
Could I throw some people at them, like in hope that it creates a spark that explodes everything?
People versus rock.
You can certainly try if that's what you want to try and do.
Okay, I'll do rock first. You're right. I'll do rock first.
Okay.
How are we going to throw it though? Because we don't have thumbs.
So you're also stupid. You have a literal one
you're
intelligence.
You're
so
dumb.
the concept of like throw rock is like break wall. Like
Yeah,
that's
that could
like
work.
I'm gonna throw the rock by smashing the wall.
Yeah, smash
Okay.
the wall into it.
It's not like pick up rock and throw because you're a worm with no hands, no dexterity. So if that's the path you're taking, the path will be smash the wall above to collapse it on top.
That's sick.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, this is going to be another straight strength +9, so D20 +9 versus stone.
And a 9.
18
Plus 9, right?
yeah, 18. You slam into one of the towers that is directly above, and you see it begins to give way, but it was not strong enough. The creatures
shoot
all
you,
around get several shots. There are many of these figures around you. 6 shots get a shot on you in this moment.
Shit. Am I D?
Oh, the worst rolls though. A natural 1, a 4, and a 5. I'm not going to do it.
Wow.
3 more. Wow. Terrible. 3, 4, and then like a 23 is going to hit.
Okay.
One of these shots gets through for a total of 12, and 12 is 24 points of damage.
Okay.
You're at 130.
All of these shots are binking off your scales, off the hide of this purple worm. However, only one sinks deeply in. You can take another attack against the structure here as you watch about 10 of the ones who didn't fire run. They just drop their shit and they're running as you can make this other attack if you want.
Do it.
Yeah, I have to.
Okay.
I think it's my only chance, and I just say, wiggle, wiggle, motherfuckers.
D20 plus 9.
I roll. Let's see. Oh,
Come on.
a 3.
Three
A
plus
3
9?
plus 9, a 12. You hit low and it begins to kind of,
I got more shots.
but another rally
This
of
is
shots.
gonna be tight. This is gonna be tight.
Okay, that is an 18 and a 19 and a 9. So 2 of those hit.
Yeah, because my AC is 18.
And then a 17, a 17, and
Nope.
a 25.
Oh,
Ooh.
So 3 shots hit you that time.
Let's do some math. This is gonna be close.
20 points of damage on that one.
Hey?
okay. So I'm still good.
Oh, not bad. That was only 11 points on that one.
Okay.
And 21 points on that one.
Ooh.
How we doing?
78 health. 78 health.
Okay. As you rise up with this intent one last time, make another check. And I also want to point out, as all of this is happening, you hear this sound in the, like, there are many sounds all happening here, but this is
No.
grinding sound as you make your next check.
My roll is a 13.
13, 9
13
is
plus
22.
9, yeah.
Okay, thank God.
Finally, you slam your whole body into it, and the tower like lifts off from the wall, and the men who were firing beneath you attempt to run, but it's a whole ass tower, and they were pulling back slightly. As the tower slams down onto the stone, there's a moment where it just breaks away, and you like rise up before slow motion. The entirety of the wall and the tower, the worm and the ground erupt.
Uh-oh. Can I take cover or anything, or
You can make
dive into a tunnel?
a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. That's a D20, right?
Yeah. Plus minus 2. Minus 2.
Oh my gosh. It's a 1.
As you strike and like are roaring in this primal way of destruction, you've done it. The explosion, the contained explosion, it shatters the wall, it splits the wall all the way to the barracks, and just like it's all falling apart. The barracks itself, like a domino effect, begins to kind of like crumble and fall. The wall along the front similarly is like the shockwave hits it and like bucks the wall. Another tower falls into the courtyard in the front. The 2 sniper towers hit by this, the kind of scaffolding sniper towers in the middle of the courtyard, hit by the shockwave, are sundered, and the people all on top fall to a brutal death as the fireball of black powder and rocks the Garrison House compound. You suffer 109 points of damage.
Ooh.
As 30d6 fire and bludgeoning just erupts around in a 60-foot radius, incinerating maybe 30, 40 of the mercenary company. There were a handful of Yugoloths who survive it and are able to kind of pull their way out of the fight, given some of their fiendish protections. But Hondo, as 109 reduces the purple worm to 0. What was he at? 78.
So
78.
he's now at you. That goes to you, Hondo, and so you would take another 31 damage.
Yeah.
So you're at 102.
Hondo takes 31 points of damage as the worm is dispelled by the eruption, and in its kind of like bursting, you tumble and fall. Make a dexterity save as Hondo
Okay.
using your stats.
So my dex save is plus 12. Okay, that's good. And my roll is a 12.
So
So
12 plus
24.
12. Cool.
Okay. You are thrown from the spell and come to consciousness kind of as it was happening. You weren't ever unconscious, but there was a brief break, and you still recalled everything you did, and you're still kind of proud of what you did as you're kind of tumbling backwards, and you being you kind of click back into like, okay, protection mode. You tumble and roll across the now crumbling outer wall and are sprinting across stone as it's kind of falling and tumbling away, and kind of skid down and tuck down into the tunnel that you carved on the way here. You kind of skid down along the rubble as it's kind of falling in behind you. We'll say Hondo is successfully kind of tucked into the tunnel beneath the Garrison House compound, as all of you inside the Garrison House hear and see this, and you feel this shockwave buck through the entire room, and a heavy kind of down the main set of stairs behind this atrium. And you hear this voice. Well, ain't this an auspicious kind of day? What a turn of events this has become. You see the general flanked by two of the red armored justiciars enter into, coming down the stairs of the atrium, where you guys are standing at the base of the Miser's Rest. And that is where we're going to pick up next time.
No.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Bye. Good guy.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be okay.